topics we're gonna hit, or what?
I mean, okay, Justin, did you see it yet?
Yeah, I got caught up last night.
All right, good, because I got one thing. I just got one thing I want to say about it. I mean, the whole thing was badass, but George Lucas can eat an asshole now
Why?
because okay, just all right. This is my time. I have the talking stick now, please. Thank you. All right, so. Man, I didn't even do an intro. Welcome to the Dark Council podcast. We're talking Star Wars shit right now. It's very fitting. Yeah, I just wanted to go right into. Okay, so when George Lucas did Clone Wars, he was like, "Oh, Boba and Jango, they're not Mandalorians, right?" And it pissed a lot of us off because fuck you, that's stupid. And of course, like Dave Filoni was kind of like, "Well, we did the episode this way," and to me, it kind of implied like he was trying to not quite say they aren't, because the was Almec or whatever his dumbass name was. He was basically like, yeah, he's not a real Mandalorian. I don't know where he got that armor from. Well, you're a piece of shit that's trying to, like, completely sabotage your peaceful planet's government bullshit anyways, so we can't take anything you say at face value. Second of all, the way I interpret it is they don't recognize him as Mandalorian because they're trying to be all peaceful and shit, and Mandalorians are obviously warriors. But in that new episode, it was confirmed he was a foundling, goddammit. So if he was a foundling, and Din is a foundling, Django is just as much Mandalorian as the Mandalorian that the show is named after.
Right.
So George Lucas can fucking suck it.
The only thing you might have a problem with arguing on that, and I agree, like he is like a foundling, he's a Mandalorian, but the one thing you might have different there is like the comment about in the one episode where they say, like, well, he doesn't remove his helmet, Django does. So,
Yeah, but that's because
and,
they were part of two different
well,
clans.
they're part of two different clans, but we don't know how how the other clan treats the founder. Is my point. Like we know the clan that he was found by treats them as their own. We don't. They haven't shown that the other clan does. Is my point. I agree. I'm just saying like
I mean, that's
that's the
fair,
argument
but
somebody can make.
well, see, have you seen any of the things that were floating around where they deciphered the Mandalorian text that was in that hologram that Boba pulled up?
No, I don't know how they would.
So, uh, because like they used actual Mandalorian characters.
Oh, did they? Okay, I didn't even pay attention. That's funny. That's hilarious.
Yeah, so you could literally go and just fucking decipher it. So one of the things that's deciphered is Django's mentor. His name was Master MariK in the EU. And in the hologram, it didn't have the last name, but it had Mentor Jaster. And then it had, like, Django Fett, Foundling, and all that crap in it.
That's really cool.
So they're literally pulling that stuff from the EU. The only thing that pisses me off about it is they mentioned that Django was in the Mandalorian Wars, which is great because that further solidifies him as a Mandalorian. But for most of us, the Mandalorian Wars happened 4,000 years prior to this happening.
See, and that's about to say like, and I guess that's the problem you have when it's an entire civilization that is built around fighting. Mandalorian
Yeah,
Wars.
I mean, there's probably
That's Mandalorian Wars. Yes, I'm well aware the Mandalorians are breathing right now. Thank you. Like, that doesn't exactly narrow it down a lot.
Well, here's the thing about like, you're talking about the Mandalorian Wars actually happening 400 years prior or whatever, and basically they're pulling
4,000.
4,000. Yeah, sorry. So like basically them pulling from the EU but altering the timeline. That's kind of a similar thing to what they did with Thrawn as well, because Thrawn in the EU didn't really rise to prominence until after the time of Return of the Jedi, because he first made his appearance in the Heir to the Empire trilogy in the old EU.
You're giving Justin like a huge erection right now. Just saying. But continue.
So anyway, and I mean, and Timothy Zahn, the author of the Heir to the Empire trilogy, like he actually did sign off on what Dave Filoni had concocted, in order to put Thrawn in Rebels and everything. But still, though, I'm just saying, the way that they are pulling from there, it's like they don't want to completely carbon copy it, so they're kind of shifting around timelines a bit and stuff. So obviously, with the Mandalorian War, they're shifting timelines around with that as well. Now that they're making it a canonical thing, and that's just
I don't even think they're shifting the timeline on that as much as just it's kind of like if you say the war, people assume you're talking about
But-
the current
But
war.
what
Whereas
they're
if you say
talking
Mandalorian war, they're talking about the more recent war, not the war from 4,000 years ago. There were different.
Yeah, I believe they were talking about the Mandalorian War in the show from when it was happening in the Clone Wars, when the
Clone Wars,
factions
yeah.
split, when Maul killed the previous leader, and then the Darksabers gotten out of whack, and then that's the whole reason.
No, that couldn't be though.
Yeah.
That couldn't be though because Django was already dead by that point.
Yep.
So which
So
one are
it-
they referring
so it
to?
couldn't
Like
be
what the
that.
hell?
Well, that's my point. Is
What-
the Mandalorians
I mean-
are at okay,
What he's saying
It-
is there's probably
They're
like
constantly at
1,000
war.
wars that they could be talking
right?
about.
Because my point is like okay, even in like the Old Republic stuff, how often does Mandalore actually unite underneath Mandalore? It's rare.
Right.
And
Well,
when,
plus,
when
also-
they're not united, what are they doing? They're fighting.
Yeah. Well, one of the
there's no
things
middle
one of the
ground.
things too is in the EU. So in the EU, Jaster, the one that rescued and adopted Django and brought him in as a foundling, he was actually like killed by the Death Watch. Like Django was not part of the Death Watch. So right there, you had two different clans already.
Mm-hmm.
That literally could have been part of a war right there.
Right.
And not so much the Mandalorian wars between Revan and Mandalore back, in Old Republic days. So, I mean, it does, it makes perfectly good sense, but I'm excited to see more, like, actual Mandalorian culture.
Yeah.
Like, we didn't really see a lot. In the first season, we saw a few other Mandalorians, and then we saw they all died. And it's like, well, all right, that was cool. And then this time, it's like, well, we got Cobb Vanth of, Vanth for refrigeration, and he's fucking got
fucking go
Boba's
there.
armor. I did.
I
did.
I hate you for that joke, and I hate you that
Hey,
I got it.
to be fair, I did not make up that joke. I saw that all over after that first episode. But we had him, and then we had Boba at the end of the first episode of season 2, which I'm still kind of like, okay, are they going to explain how he got out of the Sarlacc? Which somebody pointed out that now that we know crate dragons eat Sarlacc, is that somehow tied to how he escaped? But if so, how does he have his ship but not his armor?
Well, see, I mean, that's in the EU. He falls in the fucking Sarlacc pit like 12 times. You laugh.
I mean-
I'm not joking.
I know
No,
you're
he
not.
is
That's
correct.
why it's funny.
Which I want to point out, any fuck who falls in the same goddamn hole 12 times should just stay off the fucking planet. I'm just saying.
I mean, yeah,
Yeah,
fair.
at this
Just
point,
fucking go
Boba
to
Fett hates
Tatooine.
sand worse than Anakin. At this
Yeah,
point,
like, I
Boba
just
Fett should
fucking-
hate sand worse than Anakin.
The bounty's where Tatooine. Fuck it, I'll take the next one.
Yeah, in the EU, didn't the way he escaped, wasn't it the Sarlacc just spit him back up because he didn't like the taste of the armor or something like that?
Well, it was kind of that plus a combination of, hey, I've got fire and explosives, and I'm gonna light your ass up, and you're gonna have indigestion worse than a fucking
I
pregnant
do
woman.
love the guy falls in the Sarlacc pit 12 times and has a jetpack.
Well,
This
you
is
get-
like,
I wonder if they implied it because how Din got out of the crate dragon was he just electrified the hell out of it and then dropped a grenade down him. So it's like I wonder if something similar is implied of how Boba got out.
this is my thing. Is it takes a special level of dumbass to fall in a 5x5 hole. Takes a special level of dumbass to do it 12 times, and it takes an amazing level of dumbass to do it with the ability to fly.
Oh, I said the
I
same
mean,
thing about
yeah,
my toxic relationships.
Like, the fuck.
I will say this is an interesting conversation to listen to, having little to no idea what's being talked about.
Sorry, Ron.
Well, and they have there's so many plot holes to it right now. Like, first of all, it's 5 years after Return of the Jedi. So either he's been on Tatooine for 5 fucking years just dicking off in the sand, making sand castles and
Probably been
sand
falling
angels
into
and
Sarlacc-
whatever
Sarlacc
else.
pit over and over again.
I mean, maybe. But, like, so he's been doing that the whole
He's
time.
practicing evasive maneuvers for Sarlacc pits. He's trying to figure out how
He's
to
been
dodge.
doing that the whole time. But he had his ship. So he could have easily gotten off the fucking planet. Granted, he didn't have his armor, but he could have also... Like, how did he not find his armor? I'm assuming there was some kind of tracking in fucking Mando armor.
But my thing is, even if there was no tracking in the armor, is armor or not, I'm gonna come out on a limb here and say, take the armor. I can't even think of the guy's name that had the armor. What the fuck was it?
Cobb Vanth. Vanth
Yeah.
Refrigeration.
Yeah,
Yeah, he was
Alright.
like basically like the sheriff type character, sort of,
Yeah.
wasn't he?
yeah.
Can't remember
So
his name though.
I'm gonna be honest. That guy can have the armor and Fett not have it. My money is on Fett getting the fucking armor back still. Like, you know what? Like, I just can't see that guy was stopping him from getting his armor back.
Well, no.
See,
But also, like,
that's what's
we-
confusing. It's like, how did he not find it when it's just in, you know, it's on Tatooine? Like, seriously.
Well, but he knew where Cobb was. That's the thing.
That's my
Because
thing.
he,
Is like, why
he
did
literally
he not
sees...
just go get it back?
Yeah, or he could have
Right, why didn't-
interrogated the Jawas. Like, he would know that. Has like, how the fuck did the Jawas get it? Like, what the hell?
Well, also, did he not have any spare parts to anything on Slave 1? I mean, if he had access to his ship, which also makes me wonder, so Slave 1 was, as far as we know, docked at Jabba's palace. So, with that being the case, Jabba dies, all the people in the palace, which if you've ever read anything about the EU to Jabba's palace, it's a whole fucked up thing about fucked up shit.
Yeah.
Like if you remember, there's the scene where they're like R2 and 3PO are walking in, and you see like the giant mechanical spider walking behind them as the doors are closing. Basically, that giant mechanical spider, before Jabba and whatever took over that palace belonged to a bunch of monks or monk type like Force religious people that thought that the way to enlightenment was to take their brains out of their bodies and put them in these little spider things, which drove most of them insane. And they stayed isolated from everything in the galaxy.
Wow.
And then they would, if anybody broke in or tried to rob them, they would take the people's brains out and put them in spiders.
Wow.
Like, it was fucking weird. But all that aside,
But how
One,
did that
somebody
ship not
didn't
just
s-
get stripped for parts if it was sitting for some undetermined amount of time in a what is essentially a smuggler criminal den?
Well, I will.
well, that's
say,
what I'm wondering.
no,
Like, how is his ship just sitting there?
it's Tatooine and it's Fett. Who on Tatooine is gonna touch that fucking ship? Let's be honest.
I mean, that's a solid point.
But if they think he's dead, now, well, actually, nobody would have known he was dead because pretty much everybody dies on the skiff, do they not?
Right. Well,
Yeah,
that's true.
everybody died on the skiff,
let's take it
and
like this.
his sail barge exploded.
even if you don't know he's dead, if you haven't seen the guy for 2 years, I get it. But he left a week ago with Jabba, and I haven't seen him since. I'm gonna take his ship apart. I know my luck. The moment I put a wrench to it, motherfucker's gonna walk up. Like, fuck it.
True. That's true.
Me so sorry, me so fat. Me do repair, make nice, make new.
So Jar Jar's taking apart Slave 1? What the fuck?
I mean, he could be.
See, here's,
Never
but
know. He could
there's
have a
no-
shot collar on
There's
him.
no timeline, and then of course they made his face look a very specific way. Like his face.
They
is
did
quite-
make him very
His face looks quite chapped.
fucked up.
Well, I mean, he has been out in the sun a lot.
It's not tan though.
Do what?
I will say they
not
made him a
tan,
lot
though.
more physically aggressive than I thought he would have been.
Yeah, somebody tell me what the name of that weapon is that he was swinging around. That's like a sickle of some kind.
It was
I
a
don't know
ga-
what the
it was a
technical
gaffy
term is
stick.
for
It's
it.
Yeah, it's a gaffy stick. It's a
Gaffy
Tuscan
stick.
weapon.
Okay.
Yeah, it
So
was
he's-
a. it was kind of a weird. It was like it was longer, and I know they're supposed to be all different, but his was more like a bow staff than like his was a fucking long one compared to like most of the gaffy sticks that they show.
Well, and if you notice too, the rifle that he had on his back with it was also the same kind the Tusken Raiders use.
Yeah.
So I don't know. It was badass, but then
I loved the scene where they showed him using that fucking gaffy stick because it wasn't just him hitting something, like watching him hit somebody and seeing bits of armor just fucking shatter and fly off was amazing.
Yeah, that
Oh,
shit
yeah.
was nice.
Like they did a good.
or the
job
part
of
where
that.
he stabbed the other end through that stormtrooper.
Mhm.
That because you can hear the guys like, "Please no," and they just like,
But I love the way they had bits and pieces of the armor flying off when he hit somebody with it. That was really well done.
I love how now basically like Razor Crest is gone. Like there's no fixing it now. Not after all the shit he's put it through, all the repairs he's done to that ship. It is not coming back.
Nope.
So like now they're all on
It's
Slave
just- it's a
1.
crater. There is nothing to fix.
Exactly. So now it's like
Scar
now
staff's
the
the only
shit,
thing to survive.
Right. I was about to say that.
which I want to see. I want to see Din do like some shit with that Beskar staff, like we saw Boba do with the Gaffy stick.
Hey,
Yeah, I want to see
by
him
the
duel
way,
somebody with it.
Have you? I don't know if you've seen it yet, David, or anybody else. I've seen something, and I meant to share it in the group before we started. It was pictures somebody drew like Grogu, and he's like Yoda's age in the original trilogy.
I still don't know how I feel about that name, by the way.
Yeah, I don't either. But anyway, it's a picture drawn of him that like older like that, and he's playing like he's got that little silver ball he's playing with in his hand, and he's wearing Din's pauldron, right? And
Oh, the one with the horn
Yeah.
beast on it.
it's really cool. The text on the picture it reads like this: the Master Grogu, I thought the Jedi were not supposed to form attachments. Attachments do not lead to the dark side. The fear of losing them does. I do not understand. You can be attached to something but not fear to lose it. Treasure those while you can, and rejoice when they return to the Force. You mean when they die? Death is a natural part of life. I wish it weren't, but it is. Once you accept that, the dark side will never take you. I have to live knowing that life and death are inseparable? That sounds impossible. The Master gently touches his pauldron. No, Padawan, it is not impossible. It is the way.
Oh man, that's awesome.
That's fucking like,
That is pretty solid.
yeah.
I'm trying
Dude,
very
speaking
hard
of-
not to ruin that moment, by the way.
Speaking of, when we saw him on the ship and you saw like him strangling stormtroopers, I was like, oh shit, he already going to the dark side.
I seen somebody was saying, and it was before that episode, so when I seen it, couldn't help but laugh. They were just joking around, but they're like, what if Anakin was the one that helped him escape that day? And Anakin was trying to, or Vader was trying to train him in the dark side. And then
Wow.
That's
One of the-
out there.
And then, yeah, and it was just somebody being joking. And then they're like, one of the other Jedi found him and kidnapped him back from Vader. And then in the next fucking episode, it shows him force choking somebody. I was like, that's fucking hilarious.
What timing? My gosh.
have you guys seen have you seen the memes around like the whole there's a meme from what was that fucking movie? I want to say it was Billy Madison. Where he's calling the dude to apologize for like having bullied him in school. And he's like, "Oh yeah, no problem, dude." And he crosses out his name, except they replaced Adam Sandler with Grogu. And he's like, "I'm sorry they didn't make you a master, Anakin." And then the other dude is replaced with Anakin. He's like, "Well, thank you, I appreciate that." And you see him marking out Grogu's name on the kill list.
Yeah.
I was like, "Oh my god!" Like there's so many little shits about how he hid or how he got out of that. Like there's the other meme where it shows Anakin he's in the Jedi Council chamber when Mace tells him to wait, and He said that he sends Grogu a text message says, "Don't come to the Jedi Temple tomorrow."
I seen that, and then I seen one where somebody like photoshopped him, like the scene where Anakin walks into the room with all the younglings. Somebody photoshopped him in where he's just like all you can see is like an ear from around the back of a chair.
I saw that. Yeah,
He's hiding in the background.
they've got a lot to explain with all this shit.
Yeah, like
Or like
I
the new
honestly didn't expect
the Dark Troopers.
you guys are.
You what, huh?
I said go ahead. Sorry.
Well, like we saw the Dark Troopers, which is what he was using Grogu's DNA for,
Yeah.
and well, we didn't really see them do jack shit,
They can
but
fly.
I mean that was basically it. Which really like they came up, they flew, and which Din didn't have his jetpack because Boba made him put it down. Which it's stupid that he didn't pick it back up.
I said the same.
But I guess they had to make.
They had to give a reason for not maybe Trace. I knew it was going to happen too, because that whole episode I kept going, "Put your fucking jetpack back on. Put your fucking jetpack back on." And then,
Yep. So did I.
yep, nope, dumbass.
I mean, they had to make it to where
Yeah.
he couldn't rescue him.
So on
But now we've got like this badass Firefly version of Star Wars where we got Din, Boba, and the chick, and then their ship is Slave One.
yeah, well, see, and you got those three, and then I wouldn't be like he goes back to the fuck is that chick's name?
Cara Dune.
Yeah, he goes back to Cara Dune, and she's like, "Well, I have rules to follow now." And he says they've got the kid, and she gives him that look. I wouldn't be surprised if she's going with him. And the amount of shit the four of them could fuck up is hilarious.
It's terrifying.
So one thing I gotta say about the episode is, like, I have never been one of those big time Boba Fett fanboys. Like, I think Boba Fett's a cool character. Don't get me wrong, but like I've always been a lot more interested just in Force based characters, more so than bounty hunters, Mandalorians, whatever.
This is not the way.
But I will say though, like I got chills down my spine when Boba walks on screen for the first time with his suit back on, and just like fucks up a whole bunch of shit, like from the
Oh, just went ham. Yeah.
Yes. Like that almost made me want to be a Boba fanboy. Like that was a really
That was
awesome.
That was a really well done scene. Like that, and the whole fight.
Well, see, I've never been a really big Boba fanboy, but like Jango Fett has been my favorite character for as long as I can fucking remember.
Oh really?
And yeah, well, see, because like I literally told my work, because the guy that played him, Tamora Morrison, which is also the guy that played Boba Fett in Mandalorian, he was at Con Nuga back in 2013.
No.
Him and Daniel Logan, the kid that played Boba in Attack of the Clones.
Yeah.
And I literally just was like, "Hey, I need Saturday off. Like, I'm not gonna be here, so I need Saturday off." They're like, "Why?" I was like, "Cause I'm not coming." I just straight up was not going. And I actually met both of them, which, I mean, I had fangirl moments. I've got multiple autographs because he actually liked me so much he gave me free autographs. So I have like 5. And like when there was a Q&A that they went to, or that they had that I went to, where they were telling us all kinds of different stuff about acting and whatever, and then they talked about the Star Wars movies. And me being me, like I raised my hand and I'm like, "What was your favorite part of being in Star Wars?" And he told me, he told us that his favorite scene was where him and Ewan McGregor are talking in the apartment because they were trying to outcool each other.
Right.
So he was like every time we spoke and we looked at each other, we were trying to make ourselves look like the bigger badass.
That is awesome.
Nice.
So like now when I watch that scene, like that's what I think of every time. And so, like, after that point, I was just the whole time, like, I was just fangirling. And then at the end of the Q&A, because I got to talk to Daniel more than I did Tamura, because he had more stuff to do to get the Q&A ready. And so when I was talking to Daniel Logan, the guy that played Boba, I talked to him for a little bit. And I went up to him after the thing, and I was like, hey, would it be too much for, like, to get a picture with you guys? And because like I said, I had talked to Daniel a lot, and he knew that I had called out of work and basically told them to fuck off. I'm not coming in. And because I found this stuff out last minute, I had happened to be at Epico's literally the Monday before, and the guy Henry, I think that was his name, the guy that ran Epico's, whatever. He had ended up telling me that he was like, "You going to Chattanooga?" And I was like, "Nah, probably not." He was like, "Really?" Because I heard the guys that play Django and Boba are gonna be there. I was like, "Oh, I'm gonna be there then." so I gave my work no notice whatsoever. I was just the next day. I was like, "Hey, I'm not coming to work for Saturday. Like, you're gonna have to, yeah." But so he already knew that stuff, and so he was like, "Hey, Tim, David here's wondering if he can get a picture with us." And he was telling him like how I basically screwed out of work to come hang out with them and stuff. And to him, like, because I guess he's really really good with his fans, and to him that was just like such a sentimental or emotional, I don't know, whatever fucking word I can't figure out. And he basically, like, there was one of the 501st dudes there, and he took the dude's lightsaber, and he like told me to like kneel down, and he like did the whole like knighting thing,
Nice.
and literally knighted me a fucking Fett. He was like, "You are now officially part of the Fett lineage."
Wow.
That is so cool.
Like, that's been,
It's dope.
yeah. So that's why, like, especially every time I see shit where people are like, "Ugh, he's not Mandalorian, Lucas said so," I'm like, "Bitch, let's fight right now." Like, fists up, we're going. Like, don't even.
All right,
So that's why, like, when they revealed he was a foundling, I was ecstatic. That was literally my favorite part of the whole episode. Just knowing that they're officially Mandalorians again.
So
we
let me
didn't
ask
talk
you,
about.
Did you believe that that because Django was a foundling, that means that Boba, like, is a Mandalorian by extension? Really? Because I mean, he wasn't.
Yeah.
He wasn't necessarily raised in the Mandalorian ways, though. Now, and I agree with him, like, being deserving of getting the armor back and everything, because at that point it's running the family by blood and everything. But like, does blood itself actually, like, if your dad has been taken in as a Mandalorian and you are born of him but haven't necessarily gone through that same kind of upbringing, are you really?
Well, he didn't go through. He did train him as a Mandalorian. Like, he did all the stuff that Jaster basically did for him. Plus, that's one of the things that they talked about with the stuff that they deciphered from Boba's little hologram thing.
Yeah.
Is they specifically didn't mention, like, it says father, like, it says like Father Django or Father Fett or whatever for Django, but it does not specify that Boba Fett's a clone of him.
Okay.
Almost as if Django was trying to make it to where that was not known to anybody, which maybe that's so that he could be a Fett, or so that he could be a Mandalorian, or so that it didn't like disqualify him from it. I don't really know which way to take it, but I would say he's a Fett by extension regardless, especially if, as far as the rest of the galaxy knows, he is his son.
Right. Well, I'll bet one thing's for sure, though. I'm sure that this whole argument of whether or not he's a Mandalorian, I bet he's really fed up with it.
I'm about to kick you from this so hard.
Hey, we didn't talk about this last time, and then we can change topics to something Ryan will chime in on. But David, did you ever actually read the Ahsoka novel?
I have not. I'll be honest. I haven't read a single Star Wars book since Disney took over.
All right, this
which not really, not necessarily because I like hate Disney's movies, which I do hate the sequels, but like I just haven't had time. I did because I wanted to read that one. I wanted to read the one that like about Dooku back when he was a Jedi, and then there's like I think it's called Master and Apprentice, which is about like Qui-Gon and Obi-Wan. I
Master and
really wanted
Apprentice
to
is
read that
amazing.
stuff.
I haven't done Master and
I've heard
Apprentice.
nothing but good things about it.
I haven't looked at Master and Apprentice, but like I do Audible a lot. So that's what I do. Like rather than reading anymore, because it's a lot easier for me to find time to listen than it is for me to find time to read. But
Fair.
the Ahsoka novel, and then there's a Old Republic novel, Old Republic series. It's really nice. It's the Fatal Alliance series. It's you will like that one. Like
I
highly recommend you checking out Fatal Alliance.
I've heard of that one too. I haven't checked it out. I have, as far as the Old Republic books go, I have the Revan novel, of course,
Right.
and I have what's it called? I think it's called Deceived. Maybe it's got Malgus on the cover,
Yeah.
That is
but
that one.
I haven't finished that one.
Deceived. I want to say Deceived is part of the Fatal Alliance one. I could be wrong because there's like there's like two different 3 book 2 or 3 book series for Republic, I think. But I want to say Deceived leads into Fatal Alliance. But it's a very good series.
Yeah, I definitely need to find them and or find time to listen or read them, one or the other. Probably listen because I'm usually so busy with everything else lately.
See, like I'll listen to audiobooks at work, and if I'm sitting here playing a game and it's something like let's say we decide we're gonna like if I'm playing Pokemon, when I'm grinding on Pokemon, I'm listening to an audiobook.
Oh yeah, that's fair.
That's multitasking right there.
I have a lot of
It is,
trouble with that.
I am very efficient when it comes to my audiobooks. The amount of characters I have at level cap on ESO is stupid because of how much I can just listen to audiobook and grind.
I have a lot
That's
of trouble
legit.
multitasking like that. I can barely type on my phone and walk simultaneously. I'm not
Now-
I'm currently working overtime while doing this podcast with you guys.
Now, what I can't do is I can have a
It's
conversation
dedication
and listen
right
to
there.
music. Like I can have a conversation and listen to music. I cannot have a fucking conversation while I'm listening to an audiobook. I can't do it. Nope. Because either you're gonna get pissed off, or I'm gonna get pissed off. I'm gonna get pissed off because I started paying attention to you, not the music. You're gonna get pissed off because I didn't listen to a fucking word you said because I was listening.
Right.
I am curious who they're going to end up casting as Thrawn, because if they're name dropping him at this point, then it's only a matter of time.
Oh yeah, of course.
So,
I really,
Well,
I really like the guy that the VA that did Thrawn and Rebels though. Like, I would love it if he looked enough like him to where they could just throw some makeup on him because his voice, his mannerisms, everything was.
oh, absolutely.
It was as I envisioned when I was 10 years old reading that trilogy or reading parts of the trilogy. I didn't read the whole thing, but
See, I feel like that's going to cause a lot of issues because there are so many people that, and granted, Rosario Dawson did a fantastic job as Ahsoka.
oh yeah,
But there are so many people that are pissed that they didn't just use Ashley. Is it Eckinson?
Yeah.
Eccleston,
I-
I think.
Frankenstein or whatever.
Eckstein, I believe.
Yeah, something like that.
Something. Ashley E. That's what we call her.
Okay.
But they're pissed they didn't use her, and it's like, well, she's just a voice actor, not a regular actor, and does that really make a difference? And now what you're talking about is kind of doing a similar thing.
Well, I'm saying if he looks enough like Thrawn should. I obviously don't force the issue if he just physically doesn't look enough like him. Like for instance, Rosario Dawson clearly looks a lot more like Ahsoka in order to just add the makeup and the costume more so than Ashley Eccleston or Eckstein or whatever the heck her name is. So I mean, it was obvious to do that. Now, one thing I don't know. This might have been an insult to Rosario Dawson had they suggested this, but it kind of would have been nice if they had used her for the physical appearance, but then actually dubbed over Ashley's voice. But I don't know. That probably would have been an insult to Rosario Dawson as an actor, and so yeah.
Agree. She is accomplished. I mean, it would make sense from a fan standpoint, but I mean, I think she does the role justice plenty, even without that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, see, but we went through that before because David Prowse was super pissed they dubbed over his voice with James Earl Jones.
hmm
Like that was like the biggest crime against him in all of his life, which he can rest in peace now. But
Oh, you know what else too? Okay, and this has nothing to do with like voice acting or anything like that, but on the topic of Ahsoka, like why on earth does Disney refuse to do like live action high octane lightsaber fighting? Like, the all the animated stuff is great, and then, back in the early 2000s with the prequels, way before Disney took the company, the prequels had some of the most amazing lightsaber duels, and they were freaking live action. But it's like ever since Disney got their claws on this franchise, like even with John Favreau and Dave Filoni calling more of the shots than Kathleen Kennedy these days, it seems like they don't want to do high octane kind of stuff with the lightsaber when it comes to live action stuff. And so, like while I was impressed with Rosario Dawson's performance as Ahsoka overall, I was not happy in the slightest with the lightsaber choreography at all. It was kind of slow and just kind of boring, honestly.
See,
There's
and
a
this is
theory
what,
with that in terms
I
of the fighting styles.
well,
What?
There was a theory with that in terms of that she struggled, and people were, of course, the mixed reaction that you talk about that she struggled because it was not a fighting style she was trained in fighting against. It's like, A, she's never fought anybody with a Beskar staff. B, this person is not trained in any traditional Jedi form of art. You're either her traditional forms are used to fighting droids and of course other people with lightsabers. So when you're against somebody that's almost essentially fighting like a samurai with a Beskar staff, then it's like how do you actually counter that? It was only once she actually reversed and went back to her original fighting style where she's holding the lightsaber in a reverse grip that she ends up being effective, because at first she was being more defensive and more unsure because of the style being unfamiliar.
I want to address both of these real quick. All right. So to your question, Alan,
Yeah.
I'm as a kid watching the sequels, watching the prequel series. I loved the fight scenes, and even looking back at them, they're well done. Like they're well choreographed. What I will say is, me myself, as a fighter and a martial artist, I enjoy this scene more because it's much more realistic. Because
Yeah,
when you go flying around, people cut limbs off. Ask Anakin.
yeah. In the real world, fighting typically isn't that impressive to watch.
Sure.
And
depends.
Yeah, it can vary, but
like if Anakin had stuck to the ground, he'd still have all his limbs. That's all I'm saying. But
The thing
to the
is,
whole
though,
thing with people saying that Ahsoka was struggling, I'll be honest. Well, the whole time I was watching that fight, I'm thinking Ahsoka's just playing with her. I never felt like she was struggling. I felt like she was playing with her. Got half-assed cocky, and then got one of her lightsabers disarmed, and then went, "Oh fuck, I need to pay attention." That's what it looked like to me. It didn't look like she struggled at all. It looked like she was playing with her, and then went, "Fuck."
like she needed to stop fucking around.
Right? Oh shit! I'm showing off, and I'm gonna get my fucking ass kicked. Which, let's be honest, showboating is kind of her style, just like it was Anakin's.
Mhm.
I
Well,
don't know
okay,
why
let's
I
take
haven't
it.
seen anybody point this out on the internet. And I could be wrong. It might have been her struggling, but I can't believe I am the only person that I've seen say, "I don't think she's struggling. I think she was just showing the fuck off."
Well, the facial expressions did not give that impression to me. But then again, in terms of the timeline of events of how it happened, that gives your theory credence.
Right.
But in terms of the facial expressions and the sounds they're making,
Well, let's take it even a step further as far as like the fighting goes. She didn't have to do any of that. Just fucking hold your hand out and knock the bitch down.
Yeah.
See,
Like, why?
and see-
Why is that a thing that we just don't do?
and
that's
see, this is
respect for a non-force user, though. That's
well,
fighting
this is my
courtesy.
thing, and this
That
is,
bitch, no. Clearly, that bitch did not deserve respect for everything she was doing. She threw respect out the window with the way she was treating all those citizens. Like, and the way Ahsoka is, her personality, she wouldn't have been like, nah, we're gonna have a respectful fight. She's gonna be like, nah, bitch, this is what you deserve.
the reason I say she wasn't struggling is there were plenty of times. Okay, there's a reason most Jedi use a single bladed lightsaber. Okay, and it's because you can use it like you're fencing or in a more traditional sword style. Ahsoka has always used one longer and one shorter. Always.
One for defense, one for attacking.
Well,
Essentially.
exactly what you just said. But
Actually,
the first
technically,
5 minutes of that fight, she was blocking with both fucking blades, which is why she wasn't trying. Like she was toying with this person. Because when you stab a spear straight forward, and I have two swords, I can go left hand go pushes you to the left, and right hand chops your arms off, and there's not a fucking thing you can do about it.
Yeah,
I
that's
think more.
kind of that
I
was
think
kind of
more
the
than
entire
anything.
point of the two blade systems.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I think more than anything though, that was just like I think like unless you're a Mandalorian, I think that if you're a non-Force user and you're going 1v1 with a Force user, like it shouldn't be that close. And so I think for the sake of dramatic effect, they just had to make it appear that she was struggling, whether it was logical or not. But one quick side note I want to say, technically Ahsoka hasn't always used two sabers because I think for the first 2.5 seasons of Clone Wars, she was just using the one green lightsaber, and then like I think it was like halfway through season 3, around the time that they did the Ghosts of Mortis.
Yeah. The moment she was given the
story
choice,
arc.
how about that?
Yeah.
Because as a
Yeah.
Padawan, she was handed one lightsaber.
Right. But anyway, so yeah. But also, to address what you were saying about it's more realistic to not have that high octane stuff. I will agree with that, but I don't watch Star Wars for realism. If I was going to
No,
watch,
no,
if
and
I was
I
going to watch,
agree. But I have seen people tear apart the prequel series because of their fighting style.
yeah,
So,
Oh yeah, definitely.
right.
it's me loving Star Wars like as much as I do is like I love Star Wars more than Star Trek because of the lack of realism. Star Trek, in our lifetime we've seen so many things from Star Trek that have actually you know come to light and come to fruition as real technology that we can use in the palm of our hand. um
I haven't.
do what?
I'm not a Trekkie.
Anyway, um but yeah, so I mean, there are several things on Star Trek that can legitimately happen, whereas Star Wars, like it is straight up space fantasy more so than it is sci-fi, and that's what I love about it, and that's also why, I enjoy the more mystical side of things with Force users more so than I don't know troopers. Like you've got all kinds of different Star Wars fans, and that's why it's a great franchise because you got a little something to cater to everyone. But like
Yeah.
these people that are like big time fans of clone troopers and stuff, like now granted I think the clone trooper arcs in the Clone Wars were really great, but as far as inherently being interested in the troopers themselves, it's like I'm not drawn to that archetype of character within Star Wars. And so I like the just like really out there borderline space magic kind of crap.
Now,
that
Then why the fuck don't you play SWOTOR? That's what you need to play. If you want that kind of Star Wars, you play SWOTOR for that
see,
shit.
I've always found the Jedi and even the Sith to an extent really kind of boring.
Well, and that's fine. You're entitled to that. Like everybody, you know, like I said, there's a lot that can come from Star Wars that can attract a lot of different people. Um,
Again, Ryan, SWOTOR and the KOTOR series would fix that for you. Just saying.
Well, no, what
Just throwing that out
my
there.
You know what
problem
I
with
want to
all-
see get more attention in the Star Wars universe? The fucking Ichani.
the Ichani.
Yeah.
What's that?
They were kind of like the So if you kind of see Mandalorian, if you see Mandalorian as kind of like the aggressive kind of warrior fighting style, Chani is the softer, more elegant side.
Yeah,
Okay.
well, they like think like Shaolin monk kind of like they were. That's what they were monks kind of thing, right? And
Okay.
like serene, but they and they show it in a couple like trailers for Swator, but they had like they would channel they could channel the force where they could block lightsabers with their hand, like they could stop a lightsaber with skin, like like, like that just yeah, it was something they could, it wasn't something
Well,
they could do easily.
Satele Shan could do that, but like you think some of that
Right.
training gets lost between the High Republic and then going into more of the
Right. But
later on.
I would love to see them when if I would love to see more of the Achani stuff, and we're never going to see it in anything in the time period that we're
I mean,
currently checking. But
we might see it
You-
in that High Republic stuff
I'm
though.
hoping
They
so.
are
Like, I'm
taking
really
the High
hoping,
Republic into the animated series. I believe that would happen.
like, but High Republic is still kind of like the time
Well,
period
a
isn't
lot of those-
quite right, but they could tweak that enough to fit it.
Well, a lot of those teachings are still relevant, and that is shown in some of what was done with the cinematics.
Yeah.
When they showed Satele Shan, Malgus, and all that.
Yeah.
In general,
See, I'm one of the outcast people. Like Alan absolutely adores the mystical force side and all that shit,
Oh, I do too.
which is great. I love the I love the fight scenes. All right,
the
fuck the word.
cinematography.
Actually, I think what he's looking for was choreography.
yeah,
The
choreography.
choreography.
Yeah,
and the
choreography, that's what
cinematography
I
on
was looking
top of
for.
it. There you go. You get both.
Well, the cinnamon whatever, I don't care.
What about cinnamon rolls? I'm hungry now. Damn it.
But honestly, I love seeing shit like the gunfights. Like what we
Yeah.
saw in the last episode of Mandalorian. I
Yeah.
love seeing that shit. Or even in season 1, the big ass scene where like Mando walks out of that doorway. It doesn't even look, just points his blaster 2 different directions, just drops 2 troopers. Like
Yeah.
I love seeing that shit.
Yeah.
Just like
See,
curiosity,
I-
do you
I-
actually like? Do you like old school, like traditional westerns by chance?
Nope.
You don't?
See, that's what
Nope.
I liked as part of season 1, where him and the droid are going and fighting all those guys when they walk into town. That's whole scene is the best gunfight of the entire
Oh, I love that
series
shit.
so far, in my opinion. Loved it.
Yeah.
Well, see, and again, like honestly, my favorite fight scene, like lightsaber fight, has to be episode 1. Duel of Fates is easily that. But as far as the entire franchise goes, my favorite is honestly, I loved watching Jango Fett fist fight with fucking Obi-Wan, knowing this motherfucker is a Jedi and not giving a shit.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
I think that's
That is easily
let's
my
be
favorite
realistic.
fight
That's
scene.
probably the one actual legit requirement to being a Mandalorian is not giving a fuck who the other person is and just punching him in the face. 0 fucks given.
Agreed.
You can force push me, I can
yeah.
force push your nose with my face. Like, fuck it.
Well, not,
No
or
fucking-
just headbutt him with that fucking helmet.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like I should at least say that like the reason I find the force and all that so sort of boring is that every time I've seen it applied, it's just the most obvious way possible.
Yeah.
Well, also like
See, and that's
the way a lot of us are used to the Force is not the way they do it in the movies. Like in the movies, you don't see them barely use the Force, whereas in the games and shit, we're like push that bitch down, We're gonna throw that hoe off the side of this building.
like if
Like
your
you're
issue,
using
Ryan,
the Force.
if your issue, Ryan, is that, then I would recommend you check out a couple of the books, because the books they talk about they don't just use it for more interesting things, but they also explain them using it in the way like a movie will show you that I pushed that wall, whereas the book will like talks about how he's reaching out and actually like how he's doing it, and then he'll do something rather than just push the fucking door open.
Right.
He'll do something a
Brian
little more creative.
Ryan would be the guy that in a lightsaber fight, as the guy would go to swing at him, he would just use the Force to turn his lightsaber off and then just cut the guy down. Guy's dead
Right.
because the guy's lightsaber turned off. It's like there wouldn't be a story with the way Ryan did it, but at the same time, it's the most practical use of Force, so I understand because I thought the same thing.
You don't even have to use the Force. My thought process, I would just not turn my lightsaber on until I got past yours.
Yeah, but that's
defend that,
assuming that,
bitch.
that's assuming that you get the lightsaber on before the other one goes through your own arm. Like, there's going to be some interesting timing there with that theory.
See, in my case,
See, but that's where you're all wrong because Ryan's the guy that doesn't believe in hokey religions and ancient weapons. I mean,
oh no, I will gladly use hokey religions and ancient weapons if they help me win a fight.
Yeah, there is
No,
the whole
but I-
allegory. I mean, George Lucas did the whole allegory of the Chosen One and all that sort of thing. So, yeah, there's a lot of things.
Yeah, what I would do in the fight with someone with a lightsaber is I'd let them start approaching like they're going to slash me, point my lightsaber at them, and turn it on, and just stab them.
That's essentially what Kylo Ren actually did at one point. And 2
But-
points, actually, in the
I mean,
movies.
like if you're running at me to slash me and I do that, you're not getting to me before you're stabbed. But yeah, like
One thing that bothers, like, how many times have you actually, like, in the movies, what's the most basic Force power you ever get in a fucking game? It's Force push followed by lightsaber throw.
Mhm.
How many times have you seen somebody throw a fucking lightsaber? Like, actually throw a lightsaber at someone?
no.
Not in the movies. In the game, yeah.
Well, in the game. I'm talking about in the
So
movies or even in the Clone Wars series or anything. How often do you see them do that?
I don't think
Not
ever.
often.
And the thing is, the only reason to not throw your weapon in a fight is because you don't have your weapon. But when I have the ability to go yoink, why the fuck would I not?
That's a fair point.
It is.
the kind of characters I tend to enjoy in movies and stuff like that are the ones like that go into a fight completely outmatched. Everyone looks at this fight, it's like there's no way this guy wins, and then they outthink the opponent.
Right.
Spider-Man.
Actually, Doctor Strange.
Well, Doctor Strange also has like ridiculously amazing powers.
Did
Like,
you watch
one-
the Doctor Strange movie though?
Yeah, I did. And don't get me
Yeah.
wrong, he's smart as hell.
His
I-
ridiculous powers don't mean squat against Dormammu. He
I guess
literally outthought Dormammu.
right. Yeah,
true.
that is true. That is true. But
That's a strange superpower.
what I was gonna say though about Spider-Man, like
Bad pun is bad.
Yes.
And no one else caught it.
Oh, I caught it.
It's not good enough to acknowledge, so we're moving on.
Yeah.
Don't give
Well,
me
here's
credit
the
where
thing, here's the
credit is
thing.
not due.
Here's the thing, Justin hears this shit every time we play Halo. Literally every time. Whether we're playing Battle Buddies or whether we're doing fucking Lasso, he hears that shit. Or he'll hear me dropping the cheesiest, most garbage, rhymey Dr. Seuss raps I can. Just for the fucking hell of it. I mean,
Yes.
there's
And
a moment
I die
in
more
one of them.
because of it. I die more. I literally do because of your bullshit.
Somehow it throws off his game. Somehow it throws off his game, or it either pisses off the enemy more. Because there's a scene where I dropped like the most cheesiest rap about fucking Rice Krispie cereal, okay? And 5 seconds later, Justin is blasted in the face and killed. Not me, the one singing it, but him. So, if he hears a bad pun come out of me, 9 times out of 10,
Duck.
it's just something that he's fucking heard so many times that it's just natural to him.
There was one time I did actually try to camp after he said something really bad, and a sniper came out of nowhere and just popped me square in the head. And I'm like, what the flying fuck?
Oh yeah, there's no escaping it. There's no escaping it. There is for me, but not for you.
Well, like when we tried to play the last on Halo when I had really shitty internet, and I was like, no escaping that fucking grunt.
That shit was so great. Well, see, we did one the other day. We did a lasso run, and
That was last week.
I swear to God, it was Justin or Patrick. I kid you not, it was the same as when you and I played, because there were so many times where Justin, he'd be doing something, I'd be like, "Hey, don't!" He's already dead.
Finish the sentence.
So,
Just like
so have you guys actually seen Doctor Strange?
Yes.
Yes.
no.
What?
I'll be honest, like when it comes to dude, I'm so far behind on movies, like especially I still haven't seen Endgame, or like I'm so far behind on that shit because
Sweet
I can't
God.
find the time to sit and watch a 2 hour fucking movie. I just can't do it.
Well, what happened in Doctor Strange, the thing that I was referencing earlier, the fight, like Dormammu is basically a god of a dark dimension. Like that,
Wait, who's Mama?
Dormammu. And I know you were being stupid, but still.
You act as if I do it intentionally. Justin can tell you I do not always do that intentionally.
I know you don't. But
Continue about
He's
Mama.
effectively a god. Like there's nothing Doctor Strange should be able to do to fight this guy. But Dormammu doesn't have any control over time because his dimension doesn't have time. And Doctor Strange has a thing that lets him.
How do they know when to eat?
They don't go into that.
They're like hobbits. They just eat breakfast all day.
But they
They're great.
Doctor Strange has a thing that lets him control time just a little bit, like rewind it, stop it, speed it up, kind
He's
of thing.
Prince of Persia.
Yeah. And
There you go.
Ah.
There you go.
instead of trying to defeat Dormammu, what he does is he creates a time loop and keeps jumping up to Dormammu saying, "I've come to bargain." Then Dormammu kills him and the loop resets. And he just does this over and over, and they both remember every single loop. And eventually Doctor Strange just says, "I've got you trapped. Yes, you can kill me over and over forever, but you won't win because we're stuck in this loop. So you're going to..."
Doesn't that also mean he doesn't win?
It does.
Like nobody
That's the
wins.
entire point. It's like,
Yes, it's self-sacrificing, but that's still the
Dormammu
point. It
says-
sticks him there.
Dormammu actually tells him that you can't win, and he says, "No, but I can lose over and over and over forever." And that
Followed
makes
by
you my prisoner.
montages of deaths.
So Doctor Strange.
Oh, I'm good at
So
those.
Doctor Strange traps Dormammu in a time loop, and as his prisoner, even though Dormammu just kills him repeatedly forever, and he's eventually like, "Let me go," and Doctor Strange is like, "Okay, but you gotta leave Earth and never come back."
Does he remember every time he's dead? Like, damn it, bitch, that
They
hurt.
do. They both remember
Yes.
every single
Yeah,
loop.
there was a lot of pain.
God, I didn't know he was such a sadist.
It gets creative how he dies. They cleverly montage it, and it's like, damn, how many ways can this guy die?
Yeah, they go
It's
through
like
like
that.
10,
It's
20
like
different...
that. Y'all remember that old game in Adult Swim, the website, where it's like 1,000 ways to die, and you're walking around an office and you get points for like stapling yourself and everything else.
That was a TV show too.
Yeah, but it was like a mini clip game years ago on their site. It was fun as hell.
Sounds like something you would find on Newgrounds.
That's what I was thinking.
Pretty much.
Dude, I was
So it was a little.
I was
little
thinking
Flash
about that
player
the
game.
other day. I saw somebody mention Newgrounds. I can't remember. It was on a podcast I was watching. They mentioned it, and I was like, "Holy fuck! I forgot about that." And then I remembered Bloons. I wonder if Bloons is still on that. I want to play that.
my
I would
God.
stream playing Bloons. I would stream
Hey,
that shit
speaking of
because
streaming,
I loved
Do
that.
you know how
When
many
the
versions of Blues there are now?
I do not.
There's like
Speaking of
20
streaming-
or 30 different Balloons games.
Oh my god!
They-
I just miss Wing Dragon Ra
They just
Monkey.
kept
That's it.
making more.
I have more.
Oh,
I have
jeez.
more reasons for you to play Neo. One is Neo's a great game and you need to play it. Two is
Two, you want to watch me suffer?
I want to watch you suffer. And three, Ryan needs to see the story for Neo and doesn't really want to play Neo. So you
I-
need to
I-
play
I-
Neo so that
have-
Ryan can watch you suffer and see the story of Neo.
I have no interest in playing that game.
That's fair. Speaking of, Among Us. So I've got for Among Us now. I've got me, Patrick, Ryan, I don't. Alan, were you gonna join us for that whenever we do play it? Do you
I'm,
even know what the hell we're talking about?
I
it
don't know what
might,
you're talking about.
I might do it. I don't know. I've not really had any interest in Among Us, but I like you guys, so so I may jump in on it.
See, that's the thing.
Among Us
Is
is
it's like
definitely-
it's just a.
Is that
Like,
that
the
little
content
game where
is
somebody
amazing.
finds somebody dead and there's an imposter or something?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yes.
Jesus Christ! My
It's-
wife's
it's
been
a
playing
game-
that, and I'm like, at first I was like, no, but now I'm like, yeah.
Well, see, the thing with Among
Well, here's the
Us
thing.
is the game itself fucking sucks. Among Us is all about the people you're playing it with.
Yeah, it's very simple,
Yes.
very basic, but then it's like, but can I lie to these people?
It's like you just play with your friends and you're all assholes to
God.
each other and you're all accusatory. Well, I asked
Be
because
so many short
so
games, like everybody would be trying to boot everybody out first. It's like, what the fuck?
Have you ever-
nah, you gotta be
You ever
smart
played
about it.
Werewolf?
Yes,
Yes,
I love that game.
It's Werewolf with extra steps.
I'm pretty sure we all have.
werewolf with what?
Extra steps.
Well, fair
And-
enough.
Have you, David? Have you watched a video of somebody using the proximity chat mod yet?
No, I still need to do that. I know.
I have.
I am gonna slap. Isn't it? That proximity chat is fucking hilarious, isn't it, Ryan?
Yes.
Like it takes the game to a whole new level.
Well, see, we can play with that, but anyway, the reason I
We
asked is
can.
because my buddy, well, fair, another friend of mine, also named Ryan, which would confuse the fuck out of everything, which I think would make it so much more chaotic. He's a guy I used to work with, and he's been coming back to the streams and stuff. He actually had been wondering where the fuck I'd been the past, during my hiatus because I hadn't talked to him in so long and whatever. And he wants to play Among Us with us. So I was like, well, fuck, that's another person. And I mean, right there between the five of us here, him, Patrick, your friend that was gonna play with us.
Yep.
I mean that's already 7 people.
All right, and I've got if we end up needing more people, this guy, he's gonna be going overseas for a few months, but probably gonna be going overseas for a few months. If he does, he won't be able to join us. But I've got another guy that I play ESO with that would like to play with us.
Also, Justin, you can just have Julia fucking play if she's already doing it.
Yeah, I could.
Just make her play it with people that don't suck.
What I will say, that I
She just
do.
plays randomly. She just plays with whoever.
What I will.
Oh,
What I
ew.
will say I do for fun on Among Us occasionally is that. What do you guys know about Portal?
I know that it traumatized Ponder when we were younger.
Okay, there's something in Portal called the Space Core. Its entire vocabulary is variations on space or I'm in space, because that's what it's programmed for. I went on to Among Us just against randoms and changed my name to Space Core. And I just tried to see how many games I could get through just saying space. Like I leaned hard into playing as a Space Core.
Man, that really makes me want to go jump into random games and just use a soundboard for fucking Cicero from Skyrim.
Well, the problem is, like, if you're doing random games, like, you won't have voice chat.
Yeah.
It's just the text chat.
Oh, that's true.
See, I would want to jump into random games and just use one of the many, many voices I use.
I hate what you did.
Just
to
be
him.
like-
I hate it so much.
I just want to go into one and the first thing just be like, I think that orange guy's pretty sus. We should dump him out like a bag of bricks. I saw him being a bitch.
I hate that you gave that voice to N.
I know you do. I love it though. I would literally just change it up every time. Not even every game. Just every time somebody pushed the button.
Every new meeting.
Every time somebody pushed the button. Yes.
Great. Now we're gonna play Among
I can
Us.
just
and the
rotate-
first thing I'm going to hear is you going, "What incarnation?"
I got that one. I can do Cell. I can do Majin Buu. I can do Pegasus. I can do Bakura. I can do Yugi. I can drop voices. Yeah, I definitely want to do that, but I don't know. Like, I've been trying to figure out with you guys when a good time would be for us to play, because I mean, I'm down to stream that shit
And that's
for
the part that's
hours,
gonna be
just because it
hard.
just
The more people we get involved, the harder it's gonna be to
The
find
more
time.
complicated the scheduling gets, yeah.
Yeah, that's what's gonna suck.
Honestly,
true.
honestly, the most efficient way to do it probably would be to do it in lieu of a podcast on some particular Monday, because we all know that
Just do a podcast. Just do a podcast playing Among Us.
yeah.
Yeah.
That would be interesting.
Chaos.
I'm down. I'm down for that. I'm definitely down for that.
But whenever you guys want to, just let me know.
Well, I mean, we can try for it next Monday.
Okay.
I mean, the depending on everything, like it'll depend on what time. I mean, 6 to 7 seems to work for all of us because 5 just doesn't seem to cut it.
No.
Today I had to push it back to 6 or to 7 because
You were Sean.
well, I was recording with Sean. I had to. I was recording with him, taking care of Lily, and waiting on Brandy to get home from work because she got off at 6. But she had to stop at Walmart on the way home to pick up the bubble mailers so I could ship those cards out because people have started picking up more. And I had one person buy 3 different SPRs from the store, and I was like, well, I need bubble mailers for these and top loaders. So that was fun.
Oh, hey, when we're done,
Which actually,
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
oh, go ahead. What were
I
you
was gonna
saying?
say when we're done with this podcast tonight, if you have time tonight, you want to talk about the team training thing?
Dude, yes. Sorry, my excitement got the best of me.
That was scary.
Well,
Jizz
well,
before, but
okay,
it just
'cause-
happened.
Like, whoa.
Right? I mean, I caught it. You know, I didn't have a. I'm not gonna say what I was gonna say. Never mind. Anyways,
MariK
no,
have an
I mean, because
accident?
I've been. No, it wasn't me. No,
Little Yugi.
I was wanting to play it again because I played it a while back ago. Kind of like as a Soul Link. I don't want to do that again because playing it that way, you lose, like you miss out on so many things you could do,
Right.
and like some of the encounters are just like garbage. Like, oh, you could get Cell or you could get a Cyberman. Nobody's happy with Cybermen. Nobody. But also because we played it like a Nuzlocke, you know, once you beat the Elite Four, that's the end of the thing. And like so, like all the Dragon Ball Super characters are post game.
Right.
Right.
So like you miss out on that shit. So I didn't get Goku Black, which made me sad. You don't get any of the fusions. Like it's just you don't get any of the God forms. Yeah, it's just ugh. So yeah, we can definitely work on that. Soul Link with Sean went overly well, I suppose. Yeah.
Well.
Yeah. Okay, well, first of all, fuck Gen 5. Like, I love the story. The region's fine, but god damn it, if every 5 seconds I'm not holding hands with one bitch or another and then walking you through the game like you're a fucking toddler. Like, god damn.
Yeah, people
We literally were like,
people complained about Sword and Shield doing a lot of hand holding. I'm sitting there like, Sword and Shield
No.
skip most of the hand holding. That's you haven't
Gen-
played some of the older games. I think
By
that's
the
it.
way, the episode you posted yesterday where you got your running shoes. I want to point like
uh-huh.
I was honestly I was playing ESO. I was running through a dungeon and I'm tanking a 4-man dungeon on ESO. It's a pretty easy dungeon, but we're on the higher difficulty, so it's still it's an easier dungeon. But if you fuck up, I'm gonna die, like tanking. And I've got the video like leaned up against my laptop screen, so I can like glance down at the video while I'm playing. And I never played Gen 5. I didn't know that you had running shoes and not a bike. And I hear David reading out, "Here are your running shoes. don't forget the instructions or some shit like that. Who the fuck needs instructions for running shoes? Like, the fuck?
You do still get the bike in Gen 5, by the way.
Yeah, you do still get a bike. You get both, but you get the running shoes first, which like increases your speed a little bit. The bike still doubles your speed. But like seriously, why the instructions are hold B.
Yeah.
So like there's a whole thing in text. Like there was a thing in one of the episodes we recorded today for Soul Link where the bitch is like, "Would you like me to explain this to you?" And I'm like, "No, bitch. We want to go catch Pokemon." She explains it anyways.
I love how.
I hate when games like, "Do you want me to tell you?" No. Okay, I will.
I love that there are instructions for running shoes in the Pokemon games because there is no way those instructions don't mean they're aware they're in a game. Because the only instruction is to hold B to run.
I mean, I love playing Pokemon, and I'm enjoying the Soul Link, but we're suffering. Like, on the one hand, in Nuzlocke's going great. I got awesome Pokemon. I'm having fun. Soul Link with Sean, I hate it. I hate it. The game is trying to kill us.
I will say one thing. I am so glad that my vote for your starter counted.
Dude, I'm serious. You guys will, like, when you see the ones that we did today go up, oh my god, the Pokemon, the legends they threw at us were just...
When you post...
They want us to lose.
When you post, when those episodes get uploaded, text me that those are the episodes that were on today. That you guys are recording.
Well, here's the thing. Every episode so far sucks. Every episode so far of that goddamn series has us getting fucked.
I would like to say like there's a reason I don't like the randomizing the trainers in Nuzlocke or in most games because like when you randomize the trainers, sometimes you get those really epic battles against legends that like some random guy has, but 9 times out of 10, it just makes everything easier.
Yeah, I can see that sometimes.
I mean, but that's the fun of it, is, you know, when they send out a legendary, and you're like, fuck me, because I can't touch it.
Yeah, you'll have one guy send out a legendary, and then you'll have 6 battles against people running fish.
Yeah, except this whole run, there are no fish!
I will say, the most in a randomized Nuzlocke run, the most terrifying trainer is the guy who uses Magic Carp.
No. The most terrifying trainer is the motherfucker that goes, I have a level 35, and then sent out a level 65 Palkia immediately after that.
That was the guy who uses Magikarp.
Well, that's the guy that can fucking ass.
Yeah, the guy who uses Magikarp always has one Magikarp that is a much higher level than everything else in the area.
Well, that fish grew.
Yeah.
It grew legs and everything else. It terrified me.
Have you ever looked at doing an extreme randomizer?
I have thought about it. The thing is, like, well, first of all, there's so many Nuzlocke variants I haven't touched yet. But the extreme randomizer, I just... Because that's where everything's random.
Yeah. Well, like there was one that I seen the other day that I watched somebody play a little bit, and, like, types are randomized.
Mm-hmm.
And abilities are like... But they reworked the sprites to fit the randomized types. Like, there was an Entei, and it was water. No, the Entei was electric, so it was like yellow. Raikou was red, and Suicune was red, or was red. It was just weird ass typings, and everything looked different and everything to it. I was like, that would fuck me up so bad because the amount of times I would be like, oh, that's a water type. Fuck, no, it's not.
And then it's not. Yeah, no. With an extreme randomizer, you can randomize types, move power. You can randomize the Pokemon stats.
No, you can randomize power. That's fucked up.
Yeah. You can randomize the stats. So, like, a Jolteon might have base speed of 30. you can randomize what they evolve into. So you could have a
Yeah,
fucking
I've seen
Charmander evolve into a Diglett.
I've seen the evolving one. That one would be interesting. That would be entertaining.
I would think at some point it's just the everything stops having any meaning anymore.
At that point, you just don't know what the fuck you're doing.
Right.
You're like a high schooler fresh out of high school, and you're just like, all right, what now?
Like
And then you get hit by a bus.
I had a good time watching the guy's randomizer, but like it was funny as fuck because he had something. He's like, I finally got something that evolved to a legendary, and the next thing he had evolved, it was like a fucking he had like they had the no impossible evolution thing, and he had like
Yeah.
a Ghastly that had evolved from a Ghastly to like a Dragonite, but since its base form was a Ghastly, it still evolved again. Since it was he caught it as a Ghastly, it evolved from a Ghastly to a
Yeah.
Dragonite to a fucking Magikarp.
No.
Jesus Christ.
Like, fuck it, you're going in the box. You've never seen a lot of day again.
See, that's a certain type of chaos that I just can't deal with.
No, see, that looks like a blast to me. Like, I might have to play one of those on my own. That just looks like fun. Like, sheer fucking chaos.
I may have to boot up one of my randomizers to see if I can do that. So, I have discovered that there's I've discovered a type of game that I like that I didn't realize until I've played it.
I don't know where this is going, and I'm kind of scared right now.
I'm apparently fairly fond of roguelikes.
Of what?
Roguelikes?
Blocks?
Oh, okay. Yeah.
No, not that. Roguelikes.
I have no idea.
I like roguelike.
Yeah.
You ever played Binding of Isaac?
No, but I know what you're
That's
talking
the
about.
roguelike.
I like roguelikes. The problem I have with most roguelikes is, like, since there's so much RNG in it, like, I like making a build. You know what I mean? I like, okay, this is the character I'm going to play. This is the kind of stuff I want to do. I want to do this build. And there's so much RNG that you just don't get to make builds in roguelikes. So I get really bored with them really quick.
See, I like the whole uncertainty of not knowing where a run's going to go until it's there.
Right.
I hate RNG so much. I really do. Like, unless you're like doing legit gambling, that's one thing. But like RNG in video games, I don't know. I feel like it takes a lot of the desire to build up true skill out of the equation, because you can just get screwed over by RNG a lot of times, no matter how skillful you may be.
Well, in most roguelikes, nothing is going to make very few things are going to make your situation worse due to randomness.
Right.
It's just how much it makes it better.
Well, RNG is kind of a thing that's in all games anyways. Just varying degrees of it. And, Alan, you played Yu-Gi-Oh! For how long? You can't talk about RNG.
However, though, depending on deck build and play style and everything like that, you can at least, there is RNG, and yes, it is very frustrating. Same thing with Magic the Gathering. I mean, I'm sure you've heard the term getting mana screwed in Magic.
Yeah, I played Magic. What the fuck?
Yeah, so yeah, I mean, but the thing is, if you build, like, that's the whole reason why you run, a certain number of copies of particular cards when you're able to. That's why you run search cards. That's why you keep your deck as low as possible. I never understood people that are like, oh, I'm going to run like a 42 or 43 card deck. I'm like, no, I run 40 every single time because I want the highest possible probability of drawing any given card that I need. Now, I will say things like Lightsworn, where you're like milling your whole deck away, that's a little different because you don't want to deck out.
See, I ran Lightsworn for how long, and my deck was always 40.
Oh, for real? I never knew that.
Oh, yeah.
Well, a lot of people, just for the sake of not decking out, did tend to run things like 43, 44, 45 cards, and that's understandable simply because decking out is a way to lose in Yu-Gi-Oh. But when decking out is not a factor, then like why would you not just run the bare bones minimum? It's like they're adding that extra card or two or three just for extra flavor for their deck, and I think that's stupid. I really,
With
I
Yeah.
really,
with Lightsworn, the way Patrick ran, and the way I figured out how it was supposed to be run when I was playing that when we were playing that combo deck.
right.
Like you can if you play Lightsworn, it's not hard to deck out, but if you're doing it right, you're sort of managing how fast you're going through the decks. You don't.
Yeah, like I might tell myself I'm gonna mill 12 cards this turn, but next turn I'm gonna fix my field and mill 3. Like,
Right.
yeah.
Yeah, that
But
that that is a good point.
I will also say though that a lot of the people that ran 45 card decks, it's okay. I understand. Like, let's say most of the Lightsworn mills 2 or 3 cards, right?
Right.
How many extra turns does 5 cards more in your deck give you?
I mean, just depending on.
In Lightsworn, maybe one.
Maybe one, but how much does 5 more cards fuck with your odds of actually hitting milling a wolf first turn or something like that?
Yeah, that is true.
Like, as a numbers game, I feel like the more cards you have in Lightsworn of all things, it fucks you more.
I never thought
So,
about it.
for a while, I ran 42 cards, and it actually worked. Because I remember this was I mean, obviously I haven't played in a couple years anyways, but this was years back, and I had a deck building like theory crafting night with Cliff and with Preppy Brandon, if you guys remember him.
I do.
Oh, I remember Brandon.
Yeah, and we made the deck 42, and I mean that's what I was like consistent. That was the same deck that like every fucking tournament night it was me and fucking Aaron in top 2 every goddamn time, and I would barely end up winning because dinos can suck it, but. I hate reminiscing about Yu-Gi-Oh because I remember that at one time it was a fun game, and now it's just it stopped years ago.
Yeah.
But what sucks is they're still like making support for things that I would like. Like there's all this Wing Dragon Raw support now. They gave us new tunes. They're still giving us new Red Eye stuff and like all this other shit. And I'm just like, that's cool, but I don't give a fuck.
It was really hard for me to quit knowing that they were never gonna stop supporting my favorite deck.
They apparently are still making Cyber Dragon stuff. Like just the other day, I saw there's an alt art for Cyber Dragon Infinity now, and I was like, that's kind of cool, but you're not roping me back in.
I don't miss playing either Dragon Ball or Yu-Gi-Oh, to be honest. What I miss is what I always like with card games is building a deck
Yeah.
and tweaking it,
Yeah.
and getting it to run right. Like I will never forget there was like 2 weeks. Like me and David both had a deck. We're planning on running it this week's tournament and next week's tournament. But we both had a deck we wanted to get fixed for the next tournament. And me and David must have played, sitting here on Discord, must have played 100 games back and forth with these two decks. And I'd beat his ass one game. He beat my ass the next game. The next game, I'd barely beat him, and then he barely beat me. And we're like, these decks must just fucking suck. Like, we both, like...
I remember this.
We couldn't get anywhere. We're like, no matter what we do, we're just fucking not getting anywhere. We went to the Dragon Ball tournament that weekend, and he won first place, and I won second, or vice versa. I don't even remember which way it was.
Yeah, I took first.
And then we figured out, oh, it's not that the decks were bad; it's that they were both good.
Yeah.
It was such a close thing when the whole time we were playing that we couldn't figure out what was wrong with the deck.
Turns out it was nothing.
When people would
See, but that's why I miss playing though. Like
Right.
I miss like the stupid shit like that. Like I really like. So Alex is trying his hardest to get me to come back to playing because Dyson Cleveland they're doing their events, and they have cards and blah blah. And he's supposed to be helping me get the Bardock stuff from the newest draft box, because there's some pretty broken Bardock's crew stuff. And I mean, I do still want to keep up with the game, and Bardock, I like Bardock. So I was like, if you can help me get the stuff, maybe I might find time to be able to go play at some point. But at the same time, like, I still have my anxiety where I don't want to go play a card game where I want to have fun and deal with somebody that I don't know, or that's a douchebag, or that's just going to ruin the experience for me. Like, one of the guys that's in the group, I specifically blocked him because I got tired of him. He's just constantly a shithead. And not like, oh, you're just a jackass. No, he's literally a piece of garbage, trash, filth. And I just eventually blocked him. And he just conveniently, out of everybody in that group of 50,000 fucking people, he goes to that Cleveland store. I'm like, you fucking serious? So, like, I don't want to go. And Alex was like, I straight up told him, I was like, Alex, I do not want to go because of that one person. Like, I don't have the patience for it. And apparently he's gotten yelled at several times. And anytime he acts up, he gets told he's going to get kicked out. So he behaves. But ain't nobody going to make him behave when he's behind a keyboard.
See, I kept the main reason I dropped out of that was, like, it just kept getting harder and harder to find places to play, just to even go.
Yeah.
It just keeps getting harder.
Well, I mean, especially with this year, obviously, but even before that, like, we had 2 different CM stores to play at, and then, like, Epicos had started doing stuff, and what's that other one at Hickson? Flux was doing stuff. Like, we had places to play, and then they just started to stop. I mean, at one point we were having consecutive, like, weekends where we had 20 to 30 people in tournaments, and then it just stopped. And it's like,
oh yeah,
all right.
Did you know the CM in Brainerd closed?
No.
I mean, that CM closed forever ago.
Yeah.
Actually, and they weren't really closing. They were supposed to be relocating, but I guess because CM sucks, they can't afford to relocate, so they probably just never did.
But yeah, people when playing card games with people who didn't know me, they would always get so confused. Because they would be beating my face, and I'm just like, sweet! So I'm sitting here getting my ass handed to me thinking, okay, so that means I need to do this, this, and this when I get home with my deck. And
I always like playing new people with my play style in card games, especially something like Dragon Ball, because my approach in Dragon Ball was just all out, balls to the wall. I'm gonna kill you.
You just pretty much.
I'm gonna kill you.
You pretty much just Corey Jeemed your deck on the wall.
I'm gonna kill you on turn 3, or you're gonna beat me on turn 4. Period.
See, playing people who don't know me, the other thing that makes it a lot of fun is that it's basically like if I'm going up to them for a sword fight, they pull out a katana, I pull out a fish.
Tuna slap.
Yes. They're so busy trying to figure out.
Oh no, it's a Magikarp.
They're so busy trying to figure out why I have a fish and I beat them to death.
Hey, it might evolve. See, that's what I always hated with Yu-Gi-Oh! Like, before I got to the point where I couldn't stand going to big events because my anxiety just got to the point, like, I just hated being there the whole time. Plus, like, I got to the point where I just hated being there all day.
Yeah.
Like, after 4 rounds, I could be 4-0 and I'm still just like, I want to go home. I'm tired of playing. Like, I've had enough. But before that, when we would go to events, like, when we would all go and there'd be, like, 30 of us from Chattanooga going to Atlanta, I always had fun just because I'd play a card and somebody'd be like, what the fuck is this shit? Because fucking Cyber Dragons came out back in, like, early 2000s, and then 10 years later, and people were like, they don't know. I literally slapped down a Cyber Dragon and be like, hey, you can't play that. That's 5 stars. And I'm like, what?
And
What?
I loved before my dark deck turned into a dad deck when it was the old school ectoplasm thing that I ran. I loved taking that to regionals, just because, like, I'd play ectoplasm, somebody's like, "What's that do?" When at the end of my turn, I have to do this, and then you do 2 on your turn. I'm like, "Oh, okay, that's weird." And then, like, on their turn, and they like, setting your field up then was like best case scenario. You put 2 things on the field, and they're like, all right, I'm done. I was like, you have to tribute one of those, and they're like, oh shit. The realization every time.
Yeah, I ran into lots of people, like in my later years of playing, that like they didn't know what Don's Loop did, like at all. That the sheer amount of times that a young player was having to just pick that card up and read the text. It's
Right.
it's funny because like in my earlier years of playing, like Dark Tomato Hand Disruption, where there was like you had um, oh gosh, what's his name? I mean, he had Dawn of the Lugs, and he had he had multiple Spirit Reapers, multiple Dawns of Lugs, and then, gosh, what was the Warrior Search card again? Gosh, it's been so long.
Reinforcement of the
Rhoda?
army.
Yeah, Reinforcement of the Army, and then of course the Mystic Tomatoes. Like
Why do
that kind
I
of
remember
stuff.
that and you don't? What the hell?
Yeah, why does Alan not remember that card? I don't fucking
I
understand.
mean,
what
I
he
have a
did.
good reason to remember it, but
I haven't played since 2013. Okay,
Yeah, I stopped playing before you did.
and did not come back for any amount of time whatsoever.
I came back one day when I played you at, I don't know, whatever the fuck the store was, at Frost.
Huh. Okay. Well,
Yeah, no. Out of everybody here, besides maybe Justin, Patrick quit before any of us. And really, at one point I didn't even start bringing my cards to CM. I would literally just go to CM to hang out, and after the tournament was done, we would play like Batman Love Letter or play one of like Ryan's random board games like Beeman and Roni, and like I didn't even touch Yu-Gi-Oh for the last part of my time going there. I just wanted to play stupid shit. Which is why I want to do Among Us, because I just want to play stupid shit with my friends. I don't care about winning or whatever. If I get thrown out the airlock first, then, fuck you guys, you're assholes. But I just want to have stupid fun.
Guys,
yeah.
wait, I think we should do something because of that comment he just made.
You're going to throw me out first, yeah.
Every time we play Among Us, until he begs otherwise, we should just burn him off first every time. Like every fucking game.
That's not very fun.
That's funny. But yeah, I mean, no matter
I love how no one argued though. I love it.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, that sounds like my friends.
But like, okay, so just talking about hanging out with friends and stuff, like that is one of the things I do, that I really appreciate Yu-Gi-Oh for, because I made a lot of friends through that game,
Yeah.
and, like whether I get to see them all the time or get to see them fairly frequently or get to have a podcast with them every Monday, it's still cool, to still have those friends. I mean, there were some douchebags in the community, don't get me wrong, but there were some really cool people. I mean, and I met.
Yeah, I was gonna say that thanks to Yu-Gi-Oh, I met, like, that's part of the reason I quit playing, is so many fucking assholes that would like start going to see it. Like I couldn't enjoy playing the fucking game. If you weren't one of the OG people that played it like Packard's or Lee Highway Dice Head,
Yeah.
like you were just a piece of shit asshole.
All right. That one statement showed how long ago I quit, because he said if you weren't one of the OG people that played at Dice Head, I quit at Dice Head.
I mean, you did, but you came to Packard's a few times.
did.
But that's the point. Is like
Yeah.
all the people that played at neither of those stores, and like CM was their main place that they played. Like, I don't want to drop names, not really because. I mean, I know none of you are friends with them anyways. I just don't want to drop the names because, Lord forbid, somebody I know watched this and then told somebody, and I'm just like, they probably know I fucking hate them anyways, but, they're pieces of shit, and I could totally ruin their lives with some of the dirt I have on a couple of them. But I don't want to be that person. But I just they made the game not fun. And it wasn't even like that they were so serious about the game. It's just their personality was so toxic that, like, I don't know. I legit couldn't stand playing anymore.
The people I loved were the people, and I'll follow suit on you and not name names, but the people who every 3 weeks or every month would like net deck whatever the hottest thing was, not spend 5 minutes to read the fucking cards. and then
Yup.
come play at a local fucking tournament and lose to the Blackwing and Lightsworn deck me and Ryan threw together in 5 fucking minutes
I
because they don't have
loved
a
those
clue
people. Those
because they
people
don't
were
have a
the
clue how to
best.
run the meta deck that they just copy pasted.
I loved those people. It's like they've watched the deck we played, so they know how to play it against all of the meta stuff. But then throw a deck that isn't meta up against them, and they're like, wait, you're not supposed to be running that. How do I play against this?
I don't even mean that. I just mean one who couldn't run their own deck, let alone what they were playing against. But yeah,
See, I love doing the same thing with Crystal Beasts because at one point Crystal Beasts were like the most popular fucking deck to play, and then obviously that shit dropped off, and I just love the deck because I love the flavor of the deck and like the strategy shit you could do with it, and like Sean hated losing to Crystal Beasts because the fucking Rainbow Pride herp and derp. And sorry, you're the one that lost to it, motherfucker. Like, don't get mad at me. Little furry dot deck here beat your ass. Ain't my fault.
furry dot deck.
I will say some of my favorite times I had playing Yu-Gi-Oh were, and I am going to use his name just because I'm not saying anything about him. I'm just using him as a time point. Was at Books a Million before everyone connected with Corey James and all that started showing up.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
All the
Yeah.
serious players started showing
The
up.
Knoxville people. Yeah.
I remember back then, me and Ryan thought we were really good, and me and Ryan would go and like for some reason everybody at Books Me liked to play team games back then,
Yeah.
and me and Ryan would like go to Books a Million and just raffle stomp everybody on team games like we were good, and it was just that me and Ryan can communicate and know each other very well. To what that was literally the reason that we probably won 90% of the games had nothing to do with our skill level at all.
Well, I mean that makes
See,
sense though.
Yeah.
for me, I think probably the most fun I ever had playing the game was when we would all meet up at like Burger King in Hickson or CC's in Hickson, and there'd be like 20 of us, and we're just lining tables up. We'll eat food, and then we'll have like big man matches.
Yeah.
And it took 20 minutes before you got a turn, and damn, you'd be lucky if you got another turn before you got fucked. That shit was fun. I think, or I don't know if Ryan, I don't know if you remember this. There was the one day that we did it to where we took everybody's deck and then like
no.
10 of mine and like 10 of yours and did a raffle. And everybody played with random shit. That shit was fucking fun.
Yeah.
That shit was fucking fun.
Another.
But see, that's because it's random bullshit. It's not serious. You can't be serious when
You don't even know what you're playing to your opening hand.
Yeah. Like, Roni getting my Crystal Beast was the best thing ever, because he was just like, oh no, MariK, no. And I'm just like, yeah.
I think that might have been my idea, too.
God, I miss doing stupid shit like that. Or doing, like, all the times we'd play Minus at Packard's. Yeah. Like doing man matches or fucking Falcon Ball. I'm gonna rebuild Falcon Ball
For some reason,
on Smash Ultimate.
For some reason in Minus, no one wanted to play against me. It might have had something to do with the fact that I used Drop.
Yeah.
I liked all I love just all the stupid shit we played back then. Like I didn't play Smash with you guys as much as you guys played Smash, but a bunch of the other shit we played, like what was that fucking Mega Man game we all played up there? Or no, it was Capcom. Was it Marvel vs. Capcom?
Yeah, it was Marvel vs. Capcom.
Was that it, Ryan?
It might have been. I don't know.
I know that was one of the ones. I know we played that one a lot. But anyway, there was one where I played like the only character I played was Roll.
Tetsunoko versus Capcom.
Yeah, Tetsunoko versus Capcom. That's what it was. I played the fuck out of that game, and I loved playing Roll because I literally just got to beat people to death. Fucking mop.
But one game I remember of Yu-Gi-Oh a long time ago was I was playing against I was playing against these three people at once, just me, and I was using my really old zombie deck. And I summoned Zombie Dragon and just killed all three of them at once.
I like when talking about the team games we used to play at Books a Million.
Mhm.
I remember when I ran Destiny boards.
Yes, I do.
Holy crap. Okay, hey, actually, do you remember like people in general that tried to run Destiny board and Exodia in the same deck?
Yes.
Because
Yeah.
I actually, Todd Chandler, the deaf guy that I was talking about a couple of weeks ago, like
Oh, we're not gonna do this again, are we?
I think he actually did. I think he ran that deck at one point in time. Like it was a Destiny board Exodia combo deck. Anyway, sorry, I completely cut you off, Patrick. Keep on
Oh, you're
going.
good. I was just talking like it was funny because me and like I forget what Ryan was playing, but
I think I might have been running a deck with Exodia in it.
that might have been yeah. That's what it. Like, he was playing Exodia. We both had a half decent like monster lineup in the deck to play with, but he was running all draw power trying to get Exodia, and I was just sitting here going, F I N.
That's funny.
How many of you guys remember Mike?
Yes, Mike. I'm still friends with him on Facebook. Actually, you're talking about Mike Eves. Bald.
I don't fucking remember what his last name was. The guy that used to judge
Yeah, bald.
or attempt to.
Bald
No,
Mike with the earrings and the goatee.
you want to hear something funny?
Yeah.
That is my aunt's ex-husband.
Seriously?
Yeah.
No way.
And like he had quit playing Yu-Gi-Oh before not before I really ever started, but before I ever really started getting serious. You know what I mean? He had stopped.
Right.
But yeah, that's my aunt's ex-husband.
That's crazy. I remember talking to Holshauser about him at one point. This is probably a couple years back. I think it was like one of the times that Holshauser came to visit from Atlanta, and we went and got food and shit. And he was telling me something about like Mike and his dad like hung out as friends, and I was just like, what the hell? Why? What is wrong with this world? It's like, oh yeah, either they were friends, like they worked together or something. I'm just like, all right, because he asked me, he started the conversation by asking if I remembered him, and I'm like, how do you not remember him? Like he was just that kind of guy.
Hey, actually,
Plus, he was always astounded by my language, and I'm just like, yeah, I don't give a fuck.
Aren't we all? Or were at one point.
I mean, okay, fair.
It's funny what you get used to.
Oh, absolutely.
So-
I got used to it in fucking 7th grade. It's like, Jesus.
Yeah.
Same with you. You know this too.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
so speaking of Mike and like just crazy coincidences of like knowing people and stuff through Yu-Gi-Oh. So I remember the first time I ever met Mike, he was actually judging at Exit Zero in Ringgold. Did any of you guys ever go out there or no?
Yes, that's where I started playing.
Okay.
Back when the game first came out, that's where me and Holshauser used to play. I don't remember him judging there though.
He did, and actually, do you remember a couple of guys there by the name of Anthony and Brad? They were basically like the top two players out there around that time, or no? Do you not remember them?
I don't remember a lot there. I remember like the best thing I ever pulled out of a pack there was a YZ Dragon Cannon, like super rare. That was it.
Oh wow!
And I think actually that really explains a lot if Mike was the one judging there, because I remember getting fucking shit on by quite a few rulings.
Yeah, he was terrible at rulings. But yeah, regardless though, so I remember when I first started playing, I wanted to find any place and every place that I could actually play tournaments and stuff, and so I discovered Exit Zero, met Mike and everything. But then also I met these two top players, Anthony and Brad. Anthony was the top player, Brad was the second player, and I like at first I came in there, I was like, oh, I want to beat these guys' asses, and I ended up meeting Anthony in the finals, but he ultimately ended up beating me and stuff. But I went occasionally and got to know both of them fairly well, and then I didn't see them for years, and then all of a sudden it turns out like Brad just I had, like I said, I hadn't seen them in years. Brad started dating the sister of one of my closest friends from childhood, and they're now married and have a kid, and I see them around the holidays quite a bit because that's when my friend usually comes up from Alabama because that's where he lives now. But yeah, it's just crazy. Like, all these years ago, I knew him through Yu-Gi-Oh, and now I know him through a completely different circle. And I actually knew him before his wife knew him. So yeah, just weird stuff. But yeah,
It's crazy how that shit works.
Yeah, it really
Like,
is.
It is.
Where the fuck was Exit Zero?
What was
I remember where every store I went to was at. Every store I played at. Like I remember where Dragon's Caves is located, but where the fuck was Exit Zero? That's the one store that I cannot fucking remember where the hell it was at.
Honestly, I don't remember either. I really don't. I just know that it was. I think it was maybe right off of Alabama Highway. I don't know.
I don't remember because I remember that was like I would stay the night at Holshizer's and then the next day like his mom would take us to go play. But I don't for the life of me remember where the fuck it was at.
Dragon Caves, was that the place that was Fox Den Comics before?
yes.
Wait, no. Foxden was off of Ringgold Road. Dragon's Caves was it used to be Paradox, which used to be American Comics and Cards.
Okay, yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that was off of Brainerd Road / Lee Highway. I think
Yeah, that was way down the road though.
Foxden was the one that was over by where I used to live.
Right.
like it was really close to the Tennessee Georgia state line. Like
Yeah.
you could walk to it very quickly. Also really close to that Bilo.
It's really funny how it goes as far as like meeting people from different from different circles. Because I know most of you guys, I think, well, everybody here, some probably better than others, know the story of me getting like my GED because I left high school.
Because why was that? Do you want to go ahead and tell that story? Because I'm pretty sure I'm the only one here that remembers it. Justin probably doesn't even remember it. He went to school with us.
I don't actually know it. I don't know if I ever.
Oh, okay, cool.
Right.
Cool, story time. Get your popcorn.
All right, well, fine. You tell the story.
Well, I feel like you would tell it better. You were the one part of the story.
I mean, you had front row
No,
seats,
what?
though.
Somebody just tell us.
All right, so I don't remember the reason why it happened though. That's the detail I always forget. What is it that you were pissed about something? Something was said to you, but I don't remember what it was.
All right. I'm gonna leave names out of this. I mean, just for you know what I mean.
I was gonna leave a name out too.
But what it started with is I was in JROTC in high school, and somebody on a uniform inspection day threw Coke all over my uniform, and I failed inspection that day.
Hang on. What year was this? Was this
My freshman
2005?
year, my only year.
It was junior year of high school.
It was freshman year because I was only there freshman year.
Or, I mean, freshman year. Yeah. Why the fuck? I was thinking freshman. I don't know why I said junior. Oh, because I'm looking at J Serious.
Oh.
Just ignore me.
Fucking retard. But, so I failed inspection that day, and the fucked up, this is where it looked really bad, looked really, really bad, is I'm sitting there, and I fail inspection because I've got Coke all over my uniform, and they asked me what happened. So I threw Coke on my uniform. And my battalion commander in JROTC says, "What'd you do about it?" I said, "Nothing." Because I was in uniform. He said, "Why?" I said, "Because I didn't want to get blood on my uniform." Haha. End of joke, right? Well,
Oh God.
the next day, sitting in the cafeteria for breakfast, and it is literally the very next day, we're sitting in the cafeteria for breakfast, and the same guy is walking past me and kind of elbows me in the back of the head. Well, at the time, I had very low blood pressure, so between the elbow and me standing up real fast, I blacked out. Considering the guy elbowed me in the back of the head, my subconscious anyway, went, I'm not gonna let, I don't know if I'm fighting or not, because I just got elbowed in the back of the head, and I am borderline blacking out, or I'm blacking out because my low blood pressure when I stood up too fast. And when I came to, the guy was laying across the table.
Oh wow.
I'm trying to figure out where in the fuck I was for this. Holy crap!
I don't know if I don't know where you were. I'll tell you who it was later. I'll text it to you.
And
But
since then,
Was
so
it,
here,
I have one question that won't give specifics. Was it the older brother of somebody we were in the same grade with?
no.
Okay.
Nope.
I will
Okay,
say,
never mind.
and since
You'll have
this
to tell me
since
later.
this happened, me and this guy have talked, and we like I mean, we're not close friends by any means, but we've talked since then. Was no, you know what I mean? There's no,
You don't want to kill.
No bad
You
blood.
hashed it out.
Well, so here's the part that he left out. Because he apparently his memory is a little fuzzy of the like 3 seconds that the incident happened. The reason the person was, face first into the table is because he got one of those hard plastic lunch trays upside the back of the head.
no.
Dude, just like Cobra Kai.
Like no, like legit, no. Like I watched the security footage. That did not happen.
Then who did you do that to?
No, I stood up and punched that guy 3 times. I didn't hit anybody with the tray. That guy hit me with the tray when he elbowed me.
Okay. No, I swear. Am I thinking of Fulton?
Yes.
Okay.
I know
then.
that story.
Okay.
I don't.
I'm pretty sure I witnessed that story. I am almost positive I was there for that one. I'm like, cool, I was there for something,
All
damn
right.
it.
But yeah, so that was that. But anyway, so I got
And then he was politely asked not to come back the next day.
right. I get kicked out.
Or any day.
I get kicked out because well, they were gonna give me ISS. Then they found out I was a black belt, so they kicked me out and charged me for battery.
Yeah.
Oh, for God's sake.
And so whatever, we go from there. So I went and got my GED and I started to Northwestern Technical welding, right? Which worked out great for me. I graduated the year that everybody else was getting out of high school. Worked out fucking great for me. But while I was going to Northwestern, I got a job at a little fast food place in Fort O. I was 16, 17. There was a woman that I worked with there. She was 22, 23 at the time. She had a daughter that was 2 or 3. Fast forward to earlier this year, and I'm a quality inspector at a weld shop down here, and we have this new girl that starts. She's fresh out of weld school. Good welder, doesn't really know a lot of blueprint reading and stuff like that. So while she's been working with us, I taught her a lot of I taught her a lot of blueprint reading and fabrication. Then it dawned on me one day who she really was. It was the daughter of the woman I worked with before. Me and her mother were best friends when when we worked together. We were they would schedule us to work together because we worked well together, and no matter what went wrong, we would both, between the two of us, we'd have a good attitude. You know what I mean? They scheduled us together all the time. And it clicked one day, and I was like, wait, is your mom so-and-so? She went, yeah, how do you know her? And I went, holy shit.
You feel old yet?
And that's what I was like, fuck, that made me feel old. She was like, what? I was like, because I met you when you were 2. And now I'm teaching you to fucking weld.
That's awesome.
That's like taking the whole "I babysat you as a child" thing to a whole new level.
Yeah. It was really funny when it clicked. I was like, holy shit.
Yeah, I remember. Gosh, when I was in elementary school, I remember my my music teacher she was pregnant with her first kid. I think my either 4th grade year or 5th grade year. And then when I was a senior in college at UTC, I had invited her to come see my senior recital and everything. No, sorry, my junior recital. And I just remember, like, and she brought her daughter, who, I mean, grew up to be absolutely beautiful too. And it was just really surreal. Like, it wasn't a, shocking thing. Like, I knew who she was, and I was like, oh yeah, you were in your mom's belly when I was, 9 years old. But it was just it's really strange to, you know, have that amount of time pass and just, have things like that happen. It really,
Yeah,
So
it blew my mind when it clicked. It wasn't how, and the reason it clicked is the girl that I was working with sent me a friend request on Facebook. I didn't think anything about it. I accepted it, and then I seen something where the one that I worked with before, like her mom, had tagged her and something on Facebook, and I was like, oh, I wonder how they know each other. And I clicked her mom's profile, and the background for her mom's, like, you know how you have like your profile picture and then like the background picture.
yeah.
hmm yeah.
The background picture was all three of her kids, and I was like, holy shit!
Yeah.
So, so circling back to Patrick's knocking a guy out at school story.
Ryan's much more interested in the violence than the
Well, no,
reconciling with people from the past.
it's more related to what I'm about to say. How much trouble do you guys think I got into at school?
It depends on how much you acted on what you say aloud. And I don't
Yeah.
even know you that well.
Depends on how much. It depends on how much somebody tried to disprove science.
Give me a guess, and give me a guess to tell me what you think I would have gotten in trouble for.
You probably went to an FCA meeting and started a lot of arguments.
No. No, that is not it.
For some reason,
Proving science by experimenting on fellow
for some
students.
reason, I can picture Ryan walking around the classroom giving everybody the answers to a test.
I actually got in trouble. Like, the biggest trouble I tended to get to in at school was typically violence related.
Really? You?
Well, the thing is, I was typically not the person being violent.
Oh, okay.
It was typically
Then how are you the one getting in trouble?
yeah.
What?
That's where I'm going.
Did you get in trouble for not fighting back? Like what the?
Well, the one
bullshit,
I'm
like-
thinking of off the top of my head is like, the thing I did at school was I was annoying. I was an annoying asshole.
All right.
That's hot. I was on a chalkboard.
And one time, we were in gym, and I just been picking at this guy all day. And yes, these are things I regret now. And like, he eventually just had enough and just slugged me in the back of the head.
Wow.
Why not the front of the head? I'm confused.
We were in gym.
Because-
we were coming in from doing track.
Blarg. Bar.
Honk.
But yeah, we get sent to the office, and the office sends us both to ISS for fighting.
That's not a fight. What the fuck? I've been in fights. That's not a fight.
That's how they always do it. Like,
I admitted I'd been annoying him, and the guy who hit me is there telling them he didn't hit me. He didn't fight back. He was not part of the fight. I hit him.
I think I remember you telling me this story long ago.
Yeah, I did. Yeah, it's but apparently at my school, getting hit qualifies as being in a fight.
yep.
That happened at our school too.
Most work environments are the same way. Like,
So this was a fun experiment. I want to go next. Me.
I've
Pick
got
me.
one
Pick
more
me.
thing
Me.
to say
Me.
First. It is
Aw.
actually probably the worst thing I've probably done in school, and it was in elementary school.
Oh, wow.
I broke a teacher's arm.
What?
Or no, wait.
Wow.
No, I think it was her leg, actually.
How is that better? What the fuck?
Also, how are we mixing up?
Oh,
with
I'm
limbs?
sorry.
I feel like I'd remember that pretty clearly if I broke an adult's arm at the ripe old age of 7.
Well, to be fair, at that point, the fact that I'd done anything like that was more important to me than what specific limb it was.
He was just proud of it.
Nah, it was a
I was
neck.
not proud.
It was a neck. It wasn't an arm or a leg. It was a neck. It was a spine.
But what,
He was like,
what happened
whoops.
was I had gotten in trouble for something else. And I was being taken to the principal. And by the way, it wasn't. When I say teacher, that's a bit of an understatement. It was the vice principal.
Oh wow.
Wow.
This story gets better. I broke a teacher's arm. Well, it wasn't an arm. It was like, well, it wasn't a teacher.
Taken to the office. And for some reason on this day, I decided I'm not going to the office. And it was the stupidest thing ever. I planted my feet right outside the door. And she's trying to pull me in. And I pull her down.
Jeez. Okay, I gotta ask you. I mean this in the most respectful way possible.
No.
Because I know, I mean, I'm serious. I mean this in the nicest way I possibly can ask. But as a kid, how big were you? Because your stature now is...
I wasn't fat, but I will say I have always been very sturdily built.
He's bulky.
I can vouch for that. He is always
Like-
yeah.
Like fat came later.
Wait. I just realized something. I think I have known just about everybody in the group longer. I've known most people in the group longer than everybody else in the group.
That's
That's
probably
probably
true,
Um,
actually.
I don't know how.
Well, okay, I don't know, because I think I've probably known you and Justin equally as long.
Right. Well, that's what I'm saying. I can say that. But then I knew Ryan. I actually knew Ryan before I knew any of them.
But did you know?
Yeah.
Did you know
True.
Patrick before 6th grade? Because I knew you both in 6th grade.
Yeah.
I believe so. I know for a fact that I knew you back then,
Yeah.
but I'm pretty sure I did. I'm pretty sure I knew Patrick back then too.
Yeah. Because that's like, because me and David would sit at school and talk about, like, we talked about culture all fucking day.
Yeah, we would talk about that and just yeah.
Like I remember.
Okay, so
I remember where I first met Patrick, but I couldn't exactly place that in time.
Yeah. But it was definitely before fucking middle school. For me.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna let you know I'm pouting until I get to tell my story.
Okay, tell your story.
Okay, Mister. I thought
Woo!
you were
I-
Patrick's sidekick when I first met you. Like I met you and Patrick, we'd all sit at the lunch table. I'm like, does Patrick just keep him around because he like just cusses a lot and snorts pixie sticks?
Okay, well to be fair, with the height ratio, like Patrick was Batman and I was Robin, so of course I look like the sidekick.
No, you
I
weren't-
couldn't help it.
You weren't Robin. You were Damien with a pacifier. Like, hold up.
Okay.
Wow.
I'll take it though. I'll take it.
Fucked up to get called a sidekick on your own fucking podcast.
Hey, but to be referred to as Damien, I'll take that. I'll take Damien as a win. All right.
Fair enough.
All right. So, what do you guys think? What do you think was the worst thing that I got in trouble for?
Running
Because
your mouth.
you all know me fairly fucking well.
I feel like it was
And
probably,
I'm curious.
I feel like it was probably something that happened because of you running your mouth, but I feel like
Yes.
it probably hit someone.
Was-
I guarantee none of you will get this right. I guarantee it.
It happened. It happened after you left, when you were in high school, didn't it?
Yes, it did actually.
Does it
So
involve
none of you were
ketchup?
there for it, but
No,
I think
I've only
I
heard the story from
wasn't
you.
there,
I'm
but I
fairly
think
sure.
I've heard this story before. Because this was around the time this was around the time me and you were playing doubles together all the time. So we were talking about stupid shit like this all the time. I remember
it
that
is, yes. But I'm still wondering if you guys actually know this one.
I may not, but we've talked about a few, so I'll let somebody else.
You may have mentioned before, but I've probably forgotten.
I have no clue.
So literally, as far as no. Now let me clarify this. There's a difference between what I've done and what I got in trouble for.
Or
So let me
accused of,
just
rather.
make sure. Yes, there's that. So literally, the worst thing that I ever got in trouble for at school was for a text message.
Yeah, sounds about right.
What did it say?
No. That's literally
No,
okay.
I
Okay,
imagine
fuck you guys. That's literally the best part, because what it was is I didn't realize what time it was, and it was my best friend's birthday when I was living up there, and I text her happy birthday because I didn't see her in the morning because I think I was running late that day, or I don't fucking remember, so I didn't see her before like first period started. She got caught texting, got her phone taken up, and I guess they went through her texts, and everybody that had texted her that morning, they came, took all of our phones. We all got ISS.
Wow.
Jesus.
So, which first of all, right?
Oh, no.
Like,
Happy
out of
birthday
everything I've
messages,
done,
It's a cult.
like, I was like, that was, like, I literally said, like, I haven't been on my phone. It was at, like, 7:28. So it wasn't even technically, it was literally before school had even started. But, the principal there, she was a whole lot of words I could say. And, yeah, I don't wish for the best for her, but I don't think a lot of people do. But I mean, honestly, that's the worst thing I ever got in trouble for at school. As far as the worst thing I've ever done,
No
oh,
comment?
there's a lot of things. Well, let's see. There was the senior football player in high school. My first day of junior year. So my locker, they ran out of lockers in the freshman hallway. So guess who got a locker in the senior hallway? The shortest goddamn freshman that fucking year.
Yep.
Me. Oh, here's what's worse. I got a top locker. So I had a senior that had a bottom locker underneath mine.
I want to point out, for those of you who haven't known David quite that long, David in high school was literally half the height he is now.
No.
Okay, that's exaggerating a bit.
Justin, am I joking?
You are only barely exacerbating. You're exacerbating by like 2 inches. All right, continue your story, Mini-Me.
I don't like you guys anymore. I'm just saying. So, anyways, so I just happened to fucking get the top locker in a senior fucking hallway,
That's fucking
and
great.
motherfucker was on the goddamn football team, and he said something smart ass, whatever, and I don't remember what it was, and I don't know what caused me to make said decision, but I guess the thought process was, I have 2 ways I can handle this. I can either back down, which is not going to go well for me the entire rest of the time I'm in high school, because I was already not
down has ever been an option for you.
No.
okay. Fair, but here's the thing: because not only was I that short, but I was also a year younger, because I started school a year younger when I lived in Michigan.
True.
So I was a year younger. I'm still a year younger than everybody, obviously, because that doesn't change. But
Way to keep your math going. Jesus. You learned a lot that junior year.
You're not a year younger than everybody. I'm sure there are children younger than you. Maybe not shorter, but...
all right, fuckhead. I'm talking about everybody in my grade. You shut your mouth.
I don't think
But so there was that option,
Don't you know he
There was that
re-enrolled in
option.
kindergarten?
or
He could have at
No.
the time. He was short enough.
there was that option, or there was the other option to avoid having to deal with that for the rest of my life. So instead, I decided to stab him with a pen. Literally drew blood, grabbed him by his fucking collar, and told him I would stab him again if he fucking said anything like whatever he said to me. I shit you not. And the rest of the fucking year, the rest of his year, he tried to act like we were friends. I mean, and after that, like, it went so fast from, like, the older, like the senior girls, like, oh, he's so cute, and I'd be like, fuck you, and they'd be like, wow, rude, and I'm like, yeah. Like I wasn't playing no games. I was not gonna be the cute little. Nah, fuck that. I would just be the angry little fuck that.
Okay.
I
just had this thought just now, but I have to make this comparison at this point. There is the anime character I would most associate with you with, MariK, is Edward Elric.
I knew that's what you were gonna say, and yes,
Yes.
people have made that comparison with me a lot.
Absolutely.
I never thought about that, but that is so true.
Absolutely.
Oh, I'm 100% okay with it. Like if that's the character, like I mean, I've loved being called MariK for the past 20 years of my life, and I love being compared to that character. But I am perfectly okay with being Edward. Like that's I'm all kinds of cool with that.
I would like to recapture the conversation just for a minute and go back to the story I was telling about the vice principal, because I feel like I should clarify a couple things.
Yeah.
Okay.
Did you? I feel like he missed out. He missed a step. He missed out like a few.
He missed a
few
step because he
details.
stood still, and she missed the step and broke her damn leg.
I did feel horrible when it happened. I did not run away after it happened because I was more worried about whether she was okay. And part of the reason I didn't get in huge trouble for it was I think that I went to the principal's office a lot in elementary school, so I knew the principal fairly well.
They're like, all right, man, sit down. What'd you do this time?
More or less. But what ended up happening was my punishment, so to speak, was that I would, while she was in a wheelchair, I would take her to.
You had to push her
I
around.
pushed her to lunch every day. Sat with her for lunch, and I think this was also why I ended up spending some time helping some of the special ed students in the special ed class. For a while, I was in there helping them with computers and stuff.
Teaching them how to break limbs.
I'm so glad he didn't put the vice principal near any hills.
Let's see how fast you can go.
So we're just bringing up like old high school times to get in trouble and shit.
Sean, that was
Oh, that's not high school.
Oh, cool.
Dude, I
Cool
think
period.
I
Covering all
actually
timelines.
don't feel as bad. Actually don't feel as bad now, knowing how many times you said you went to the principal as a kid.
Oh, I got in
Because
trouble at school all the time.
so I used to get in trouble all the time. Specifically, I remember it in first grade, which ironically, first grade is the only teacher I don't remember because I remember second, third, fourth, fifth, and then moving down here. I don't remember my first grade teacher. What I do remember is getting sent to the principal's office probably about every other day for cursing. And
Imagine that.
instead, yeah, right. I know. I was surprised too. I was like, "Holy fuck, what did I do?" So,
Probably what you said.
and I don't know where I picked it up because I don't recall my mom cussing a whole lot. But again, that was so long ago, I just don't remember. What I do remember is getting sent to the principal's office and then not going. I would walk out the door and then sit on the bench right outside the door for about 30 minutes, and then I go back in class.
You want to hear something else really stupid?
Oh my god.
And then I got caught.
There's more.
Oh,
Yes.
wow.
I like after what you heard what I did in elementary school. You want to know what happened? You know, in my first year of middle school, the school I was at asked me not to come back next year.
Oh, yeah, I remember you telling me this, yeah.
And it was,
Wow.
and here's the stupid thing: I didn't really do anything at that school that was worth that. The problem was, it was 21st Century Academy, which was a magnet school. Did fairly recent. It was fairly new. It was like really posh kind of thing, and I'd just done well enough in class.
Yes.
And the
Yeah.
vice principal
Wait, hold
became
on.
the
How-
principal of the new school.
It was the kind of school that had all those idiots who think they're better than you because they have money.
Oh yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, well, how far into your Sheldon development were you at this time?
I had been telling
just the way he can't answer that question.
Ryan, I want you to know you missed a great opportunity there to be like, I was 1864 on the way through just to fuck with David. Like,
I wasn't expecting the question, so I might have. I would.
I wasn't expecting the question, but I was waiting for that fucking answer. I was like, come on, come on.
No, but the issue was like I didn't connect with like anything at that school. Like the worst thing that happened to me at that school was that I was walking from class to class. This girl walked past me and tripped and fell
Yep,
down.
I remember that.
And when the teacher comes over to ask what happened, she says I pushed her down.
What?
Yeah.
It
Wow.
gets better.
Targeted.
No one asked me if that was true or not. The moment
To be
she
fair,
said it,
gravity has
they
always
understood.
worked in a really weird way when Ryan's around.
Bitches, no. Bitches always be tripping.
Like, they didn't
That's a good one,
true
Justin.
or not.
You can say that she fell for him.
No.
That makes that, but that makes him Leonard, not Sheldon.
But no, they didn't ask if that,
I'm just
Oh,
gonna
God.
say Ladybug and leave it alone.
they didn't ask if I had pushed her or not. Because she said it, they just assumed that's what happened, and I got in trouble for it.
That makes
That's
sense.
crap.
Because she has money.
Yep.
But it was just a long string of stuff that happened like that, and eventually they called in my aunt, who was watching me at the time, and basically what happened was they just said, we don't want you to come back next year, and I responded with, that's fine, I don't want to come back next year either.
I don't like you people either.
You can't
Pompous shitbags.
Like I had already decided I wasn't going to be here another year.
Right.
Well, I don't blame you. I mean,
So basically, it's a story of all the rich kids getting the poor kid kicked out.
More or less, yeah.
Yeah.
that's so sad.
That's sad too.
Yeah, because I did get there just strictly on my academic skill.
Oh, so not only
Yeah.
were you poor, but you were smarter than them.
That's how it's always
Yeah,
goes.
that's. I see the salt there.
I
Yeah,
want to.
you-
I want to ask
you
a
want-
question.
You want
Is
another?
anybody in this chat surprised? Like, you sounded slightly surprised that that's why he was in the school. Is anybody in this room really surprised that Ryan was there for academic reasons?
Not in the slightest.
No.
Oh no.
Okay,
No.
'cause
You
somebody
wanna
sounded like they had a tone, like a little bit of surprise in their tone, and I was really like, "What?"
You want to hear something that makes it worse? The
What?
teacher that just assumed that I'd done it was the school guidance counselor.
What?
Wow.
Of all people that should be listening to both sides of the story, good gosh.
And she just guided you right out the door.
What a cunt.
Sounds like corporate HR in a rich school.
Oh God.
Sounds like corporate HR that you and I know too well.
Oh Jesus, we don't have enough time for that one.
Sounds like corporate HR that
Nah,
I
I don't-
lost my job for something stupid.
Yeah.
I didn't. That I had no deal with it.
All right,
My manager
I've,
fucked me up.
I've been told by my HR department that I'm not allowed to talk to people certain ways anymore.
That does not surprise me, actually.
Well,
To which my
Depending
reaction
on the
is, if you
type
don't
of
want me to call-
person.
If you don't want me to call you a dumb fuck, don't prove to me that you're a dumb fuck.
To be fair,
I mean, we have the same philosophy. It's like, don't make it easy.
To be fair, if there's anyone that should be allowed to call someone a dumb fuck, it's the safety inspector at a welding plant.
I agree. Like, if you catch yourself on fire, that's your business.
Oh no.
Hey, that's all on you.
The worst thing they can do. It's more along the lines of if you blow this building up,
Well, that too.
that's everyone's
It could do a lot of things.
I mean, I'm qualified just because I'm gonna fucking call you dumb fuck no matter what. So
Well, we're on the subject of getting in trouble.
like, I don't care what my job is.
Imagine-
If you're an idiot, I'm gonna tell you.
I thought we were on the subject of dumb fucks. What?
Anyway, imagine going to the principal's office for just forgetting to wear a belt.
That's
Sean, is this one of those days where you showed your ass?
No. Ha
Get it? Because it's got multiple meanings.
ha ha ha.
okay. Now we're back to talking.
It's
about
funny.
dumb
Laugh.
No. We're not talking about them. We're talking to them.
I'm about to say the dumb fuck's talking. Come on, David.
You shouldn't say that when you're the only one talking. I'm just gonna point that out.
Shut up, dumb fuck. I'm the dumb fuck talking stick.
Au contraire. But so 6th grade, Rossville Middle School. I don't know if Ryan or Patrick or Eric have been there. I think you guys went to Lakeview, more likely.
Yep.
I know
I
Ryan
went
went
to
to
Rossville for
Richmond.
2 days.
I went to.
You
several.
lucky person.
Yeah.
6th grade was utter hell. Like, okay, 6th grade we had a dress code. Go tuck in shirt, wear a belt, that's it. Well, one day I totally forgot to wear a belt, but I always wore a jacket to cover myself because I hate tucking my shirt in. I'll wear a jacket all year long, hot, cold, whatever. I don't give a shit. Well, anyway, I got away with it until my last period. Probably was either 4th or 5th. I can't remember from back then. But anyway,
Oh, the last period. Most girls remember that.
it's either 4th or 5th period. Just make it worse.
You shouldn't wear a belt in between periods. That's the biggest thing.
Hey, I'm just surprised he remembered which cycle it was.
That was my last class.
MariK, I was drinking water when you said that.
You should never drink anything while we're talking.
I was wondering what that weird noise was.
The best part about
No,
that
I'm
is
sitting
out of-
I'm sitting here dry mouth because I'm afraid to choke on anything while talking to you guys.
Yep. The best part about
Exactly.
that
Well, that
is
went
Ron,
places.
out of everybody in this group, is the only person who wouldn't make that joke. So the fact that he was drinking water, it's the best part to me.
Irony.
But
'Cause he's literally
All
the
right, so
only
back
person
to-
that
back to-
wouldn't make that joke.
Back to Sean's lady problems.
oh, I know, it's so horrible. But anyway, the last teacher I had during my whole session of classes, she had it out for me. I don't know what the hell I did or something, but she just hated my ass. So, you told me to take off my jacket. I'm like, what for? Like, I'm free to wear my jacket all I fucking want to.
Wait, so she asked you to strip,
Pretty much.
and that's how you got in trouble.
But here it gets even worse. So, I was said, okay, fuck it. I'll just take off my jacket. I had my shirt tucked in just in case because they were just assholes back then. Well, I didn't have a belt on. And so she sends me to the principal's office, which I just went, and I found a spare belt. Problem was, the only one that could fit around me, because everything else was too fucking small, was a pink belt.
I see where this is going.
So when you're a 11, 12-year-old boy, I'm like, I'm not wearing no fucking pink belt. So I try to like flip it over and wear it the other way, but of course that's not going to work. So I'm like, God damn it, I gotta put this shit on. I'm like, this mumble and grumble, I had to wear it for the whole entire period, which is, I'm like, if I can just get through this, I'm fine. Go back in the classroom. Right when I walked in that fucking classroom, the teacher grabs me by the shoulders, walks me in front of everybody, and have everyone stare at me. I already don't like being stared at by a mass group. I'm like you speak in front of a class and everything. I hate that shit. Never been a fan of it. But she just stands behind me with both of her hands on my shoulders. Surprisingly, because I'm like 5'5" back then. I think I was tall for a 12-year-old. But she says, "Boys and girls, this is what happens when you don't go by dress code." And so everyone's pointing laughing at me because I'm a boy that was wearing a pink ass belt with glitter on it too. So like, oh, I'm
Man, that
extra
sounds
fancy.
like.
What's interesting is that if that happened nowadays, teacher would get fired probably.
Oh yeah.
I was gonna
more
say
likely.
that sounds like that teacher lost her
Yeah,
job.
to be fair, she
Now, where it
probably
be
got
me-
fired then too.
I'm hoping.
Probably,
True.
actually.
Yeah, ever since then, I've hated the color
See-
pink. Except for one.
See-
except for one reason. Except for one exception, and we should all know what.
Well, obviously.
That's the only pink I accept.
I mean,
And this is why you.
I mean,
shouldn't
I
strip
do-
for a
I
woman on her
too-
period.
Hey, well, don't bring that up. I got a sick story on that one.
Oh God.
I'm pretty sure.
No,
I'm pretty sure
Sean,
MariK knows where I'm
no.
going with this one.
no, that's yeah.
Let's leave that
no.
one for not on stream.
Yeah,
That is
that's
a
major's not safe for work on that.
See, that's one of those situations where like. That's one of those situations where, like, it would have never even got that far because I would have just been like, "No, I'm not doing it."
Yeah, but
And then,
when-
oh, well, you're gonna get in trouble.
Yeah, but here's
okay,
the thing. I was not nowhere near as bad as I am now compared to back then. I was timid back then.
Oh, see, I don't know what that's like.
Yeah.
Like, I've been an adamant nature from the beginning. All
I
right.
was a,
No, he's not.
Like,
I was a timid, sheltered little shit back then.
yeah,
I
I
learned
was just a
everything
little
else
shit
the hard
back
way,
then.
by my way.
I don't know if anybody from the group. I don't know if anybody from the group we hung out with in school could say they were timid.
I wasn't timid so much as quiet, and then eventually would just say stuff and nobody expected it, and then eventually everybody forgot that I was ever the quiet one.
Yeah.
I
was always
think
the
I
quiet
think
one.
for a while. I think for a while the spectrum went. I was at one end of the spectrum, and then maybe like Dual Blevins was the other end of the spectrum,
Right.
and then everybody else was in the middle.
Yeah.
I don't think there's anybody further than my end of the spectrum, though. I don't think.
Marilyn Manson.
Well,
Yeah, like I was always the quiet person that's just like, I was want to get my shit done and leave me alone and I'm good. But when I got older, that didn't happen as much. I remember my senior year in my economics class, I had the most, oh god, he would always get off topic. Like people would tell him random shit just to get off topic. I already failed economics once because the teacher was already shit. Like he had it out for me too. Like he'd pick his favorites and fail everyone else. And apparently I was one that failed the first time. So I had to take it again in my second quarter after Christmas and everything. Well, I'm like, I can't afford to fail this because I need to graduate. And so everybody would just start talking some dumb bullshit. And he would just start talking about it for like 45 minutes to an hour. And so I'm over here, having my head laid down. I'm like, this is some bullshit. I am not failing this class again. So I just slammed my hands on the desk. And I said, shut up! Like, very loud. Everyone just like, shuts up. As their head popped up like a flock of pelicans or something like that. Like, oh, who was that?
I
And they
heard a
looked at
fuck
me.
of pelicans instead of a flock of pelicans.
I don't know. I was trying to think of a bird on the spot. Flamingo. Let's just say flamingos. But they all looked at me, and I looked at the teacher and said, carry on. Like, go with the teaching. And he just went back onto the subject of teaching.
Wow.
see, that's the thing is I can't see Sean going, I want to learn school stuff. Be quiet.
Especially home-
Teach me something I don't
especially
need in
home ec
life.
Of all things.
See, I remember us taking home ec, but I remember taking it in 6th grade.
Yep.
And I don't remember needing to learn shit except how to make grilled cheese sandwiches and how to get scarred about STDs.
Yep. Yep.
Like I remember learning about that stuff, and I remember Kyle Hackney practically crying because he was afraid to ever do it because he didn't want to get any diseases.
Never mind the fact that I'm pretty sure he did from one of his girlfriends. But anyway.
Damn, that's one of the things. Like I never heard from him after graduation. Like I've seen pictures of him and stuff every now and then. Like I know he's got a bunch of tattoos and stuff, but I
Oh,
never
damn, I didn't know
because he
that.
was actually the one. He was actually the one that got me into Halo. Like, one day in school, he was just like, yo, so have you played Halo? And I was like, no. What's that? And he was like, I'll bring it. He let me borrow it. I borrowed it for like 2 days. And I remember never getting past Truth and Reconciliation because I couldn't goddamn see a fucking thing.
You know who got me into Halo? Anthony.
So somehow that's not surprising.
Well, it shouldn't be considering he lived literally across the street from me. But
See, that's the thing. Like, Justin referred to me as your sidekick. No, I'm pretty goddamn sure it was Anthony.
I could've
Like,
sworn
I'm
it was
pretty
Ponder.
fucking confident.
I didn't know you very much back then. I always thought you and Ponder were like the duo.
It depended on the year.
Who?
It kind of rotated. You are partly correct.
because the thing was, Anthony was a part of their group before I was. Anthony lived across the
Yes.
street from me. And
We just kind of adopted him in.
right, Anthony lived across the street from me, and I think me and Anthony, like, for some reason, like, met up and played Yu-Gi-Oh or something fucking one day. And after that, I just started hanging out with Anthony. And by default, I started hanging out with these fucks.
So he's the one you have.
God,
to
do
blame
you-
for it.
Yeah.
Do you remember that one year on his birthday, the year Ninja Gaiden came out?
Yes.
And he got Ninja Gaiden for his birthday, and hours of him playing and raging, and he could not get past MariK. And I just was like, give it. And I just no damaged him. It was like, here you go. Because I remember when because that was back when old like Xbox magazines came out, and you had the demo, and I was like, dude, I'm gonna play this fucking demo. And I literally just played the Ninja Gaiden Black demo over and over and over and over and over again. And I guess he didn't do that. And that shit was funny as fuck. Because that's how I got into Devil May Cry. Like, I grew up with, like, I had a Sega Genesis, I had a Nintendo, my grandparents had a Nintendo and a Super Nintendo, but then I got an Xbox. So, like, PlayStation was never my thing, and Devil May Cry back then was only PlayStation. And I remember him playing Devil May Cry 3, and it's that weird little, like, serpent creature that just flies around in a circle, and you gotta, like, break it apart to kill it.
Yeah.
And he could not get past that thing. And I was like, all right, fuck it, I'll try it. Never having played Devil May Cry, and I don't remember how long it took me to do it. It wasn't like the Ninja Gaiden thing where I just did it and it was just done. But I eventually ended up beating it. I was like, dude, I fucking love this game. And then I never got to play it for like 4 years because, I didn't have a PlayStation.
Man, I remember me and him, like, Prince of Persia, when the first Prince of Persia game came out, we both had it, and
I love how you just mentioned Prince of Persia, and I literally just saw Ponder go online on Discord. Like, and that was his, like, Prince of Persia was his game. It's like he heard it. He was like, what's up, Prince of Persia?
But it was funny as shit because the two of us are two completely different types of gamers. I'm somebody who, like, I can solve the puzzle if I look at it, but I'm too impatient, especially if I'm playing a game like Prince of Persia where I'm going, like, where it's a faster paced game, and then you don't slow the game down, you literally put the game to a screeching halt to solve a puzzle. Like, that break in pace
Oh, yeah.
fucks me up.
Yeah, it
And
bothers me.
Anthony would always struggle with the combat of Prince of Persia. We got to where, like, he'd be stuck and he'd call me, and then I'd be stuck and I'd call him, to the point where we just fucking quit doing that, and we just always played at his house, and I'd play until we got through a puzzle, and then he'd play until we got to a fighting game.
just pass
We
it
just
off.
have to control it back and forth.
Hey, that
We finish
works.
the fucking thing.
So real quick, circling back to Ninja Gaiden, David, was like Xbox your first taste of Ninja Gaiden, or did you ever play the old NES titles?
I never played the NES ones. I still to this day have not. And I absolutely love the Ninja Gaiden series. Like, I've only played Ninja Gaiden Black, which is the harder version of the first one, and I played the second one. I've never even played the third one, which is on 360. But I just, like, the character Ryu and, like, some of the other characters in the franchise, I love that fucking series. The gameplay is fun as fuck. But I'm pretty sure the old Nintendo version is not that fun.
Well, no, if you like old school side scrollers, it is. Which
Well, okay. I didn't mean it that way. I meant it's not that same kind of fun.
yeah, it's a different kind of fun for sure. Like I honestly I probably wouldn't have as much fun with a more modernized feel like the Xbox version. And I've never owned an Xbox console in my life. But I love the old NES titles. In fact, Ninja Gaiden 2 on NES specifically, it's if it's not my favorite NES game of all time, it's at least in the top three. So I mean, and I can go through that game. I just like sit down and run through it. But I would love to learn how to speed run that game if I actually got into speed running. But another thing too is I've always wanted to see Ryu Hayabusa in Smash. And like,
Yes.
dude, it's like every time a DLC is about to be announced, like rumors come up about him being in there, and I swear to God, I would drop Cloud in a heartbeat for Ryu Hayabusa. I really would.
I would drop Roy as well. Like I've seen a lot of people like of course there's people that are like I want Master Chief. No, I don't want Master Chief in there. It just does not fit.
Right.
If you put Dante in there or Nero from Devil May Cry, I'm probably never playing anybody else.
I don't know
If you
that-
put Ryu from Ninja Gaiden in there, I'm probably never playing anybody else. Well, besides maybe Kirby because I love my pink gumball. But
I don't know that like Dante or anyone from Devil May Cry could make it in.
okay, the fucking Minecraft piece of shit made it in. Anybody can make it in. Bugs fucking Bunny could make it in at this point, and
You
nobody
can
would
play
fucking blink.
Minecraft on a Nintendo system.
Okay. What the fuck does that mean? You can play Devil May Cry on a Nintendo system.
That's what I wasn't sure about. What systems was Devil May Cry on?
I'm pretty sure Devil May Cry 5 came out on the Switch.
I mean, Ryan, dude, back when Cloud came to Smash 4 on the Wii U, as far as I know,
Ew.
Cloud hadn't been in on any console whatsoever.
No, he hadn't.
Yeah,
neither had Solid Snake.
Cloud is sort of a gray area because Cloud isn't actually the franchise. The franchise is Final Fantasy, and Final Fantasy started on the Nintendo systems.
That is true. That's
Okay, but what about Solid Snake though? Was he ever a Nintendo character? I don't think
yeah,
so.
the original Metal Gear
Metal
Solid.
Gear. The original Metal Gear was NES. Yeah,
Yes.
and I'll
Really?
Yeah.
I don't think Solid Snake was actually a character on the original Metal Gear, but yeah, I remember going to, it was either a Lionel Playworld or Toys R Us. They had an NES setup with like this whole thing with like 8 games or something in it. And you pressed a button and you could switch between the games. And I remember Metal Gear being one of the games on there. Same thing with Metroid
Yeah.
too. That's how I got into Metroid. Was from
A
going
lot of of the longer lived franchises started on NES because it was just what they had back then.
Yeah, Castlevania,
Well, I mean,
Contra.
I don't really care, but if I really do, if because he was a Nintendo character, and not even that, but he was a Nintendo character for multiple games. I think Ryu should be in
Yeah,
it.
Ryu definitely.
I agree.
Happening because he started on Nintendo.
Yeah,
I
He's such a good
I definitely
character.
I think they could work it in to it, but I think the thing with that now is Sony has a contract with Team Ninja now.
Yeah.
Yeah, and we're
Dude, I don't give a fuck. Like
No,
Team
I'm not,
Ninja.
they could definitely work that, especially considering it started there. And I don't see that's not even something I would see. I can't even see Sony going, no, you can't do that because it doesn't affect Sony at all. You know what I mean? Like,
Right.
it would never fuck.
Like,
with
there's no-
Sony
there's
at
no-
all. Like, they're not competing.
There's no
on that
reason for them
franchise.
not to.
Yeah, they're not competing on that franchise at all. But that was something that would have to be worked out in the contract.
Plus Ryu would look, as long as they didn't go with like old ass Super NES graphics. If they went like the good like Xbox version of Ryu,
They'd like
oh
to
my
go
god,
whichever-
he would look good.
Whichever one people like most, which would be
Well,
that.
okay, I will argue to this day the graphics and the cinematics, especially the cutscenes in Ninja Gaiden 1 on Xbox, still look better than most of the fucking games that come out in 2020. Team Ninja designed the best fucking set of graphics that
Bro.
you will fucking see on a person.
Something you just said there really pisses me off.
What?
And you talking shit about games that come out in 2020, no matter how good Team Ninja did on Ninja Gaiden Black, but your bitch ass won't even play Neo.
Okay, that's not. You're not. That's not why I'm not like. I don't want to play it because it looks dumb. I just haven't played it since the last time I played it.
My point is, if you think they did a good job with Ninja Gaiden, then you should see Neo.
I mean, that's a fair point. I don't think I got to a cutscene the last time I played it. Because I was still learning how to not die.
Learning how to close your menu.
Yeah, that too. Well, I'm sorry. When the menu is see-through and it looks like I can still play, I'm still playing. I'm just playing in the menu.
He did do better than the last game you got him to play, where he stole the first item he could in the game.
Oh my god. Can I ever live that down?
No. If you had done it once...
I just wanted to read the book.
If you had done it once, you could live it down. But twice, no, you can't live it down. Also, we still need to get a fucking group to play that or to play Baldur's Gate.
Yeah.
When Baldur's Gate comes out of early access, we have to play Baldur's Gate. And like when it comes out of early access, we have to play Baldur's Gate.
Are you done? I believe.
I want to play Baldur's Gate. I do, because like just the stuff you said, it just sounds fucking great. And you know, newer it'll probably look prettier.
Well, that and newer will like the reason I was trying to get you to play Divinity then was there was a ton of people going to Twitch going Divinity, like searching Divinity, like playing something that like that popular at that moment in time is always a good idea. Because within a week of Divinity coming out, it was on literally every top 10 RPG list that anybody has made, and I don't see it coming off of any top 10 list ever anytime soon.
Right. Well, the weirdest thing is like, so I've noticed, like Ryan pointed this out to me the other day, that for some reason my streams are choppier when I stream through YouTube than to Twitch.
Yeah, they are.
But I don't understand why. I'm using the same program, the same computer, like everything's the same. So I don't know if that's an issue on YouTube's end. I still have yet to kind of check it out. Because I was gonna try using Restream at one point. It's basically it's a platform that you stream to it, and then it branches off and it streams to wherever you want it to. So I could stream to YouTube and Twitch simultaneously and hit both audiences.
Oh, okay.
But like when I went to it, like I went to the official page, and you know, you go to link your stuff to it and whatever, and it's like you agree to give Restream, you know, these permissions, and literally one of the permissions, like of course they're gonna access your YouTube and blah blah blah, but one of them literally said you give them permission to delete videos, and I was like, nah, fuck that, I'm done. Like I don't know at what point that needs to be a permission I need to, you know, agree to, but I'm not risking you deleting anything off my shit.
Yeah, that's a little weird.
I'm going to jump off.
So,
here,
and that's
David.
why
I got work in the morning.
Alrighty.
Yeah.
It's been
I
real.
think I'm done too.
Been fun though.
Well, we can all hop off.
Been fun.
I haven't actually eaten all day.
Jesus
Well,
Christ.
I think I had a bagel and that's it.
Well, you can wait until you have a chance to talk to Patrick afterward, but
Well, yeah, but I don't have to talk to him on stream, so.
right.
It's been fun.
Well,
I'll be back
this
next
has
week.
been a very funny. I hope so, because every other fucking week I'm like, hey, you want to do the podcast? No, I'm busy.
Hey, I'm getting it.
And
freed up.
I just,
We should be good now.
yeah, well, I was starting to think you didn't love me anymore.
It's okay, Nutty Me. You'll be fine.
Sweet.
Hey, that's okay. You still die a whole lot more than me and Lasso. I'll take it.
That's okay. Just don't cheat on me or Patrick. You're good.
What the fuck? Whoa.
Hey, he is my sidekick and strictly my sidekick.
You know, if you change one letter in that. Nobody got that. Okay.
Nope.
Anyway, okay.
Nope, I got it. Nope.
All right.
You go. Bye.
Have a good night.
Bye. I knew he was gonna. He just. You know what? I'm gonna highlight every time he dies now. I'm gonna do a death montage. It's just gonna be his deaths.
Slow mo every time.
With glory
Dude, like I mean,
in the back.
he's not bad at the game at all. He's really not. Like he keeps up with me quite a bit when we play matchmaking. But god damn it, I swear when we're playing Lasso, it's just like he just gets breathed on and he dies. And I don't have time to warn him before one little pissant shot hits him and he crumples. I'm like, well, all right, we'll try again. But yeah, I guess that's a good place to call it. We've been almost 3 hours, and yeah, food sounds great right now.
Yeah, let's just say me seeing the boys, it was not worth it today. I'll tell you that much.
So the taco
What-
wasn't. I'm gonna stop
No,
myself there.
one of them brought his mom and dad, and the dad would not shut the fuck up. I'm like, dude, shut up. You're a buzzkill over here.
yeah.
I'm like, dude, why'd you bring your damn parents here? This is a boys' night out. Motherfucker.
Yeah, I think the only person's parent I think I would ever be okay with going to like a guy's night out would be Ponder's dad. Like I've had him on Facebook forever. He's always a cool dude. But
I never met his dad.
other than that, oh man, I love his dad. I've sat and played music with him and stuff a little bit, but like otherwise, like nah. That's if it's boys' night, it's boys' not bring your parents to chaperone.
Yeah,
Like, what the
I
fuck?
told him, I
He's,
said,
he's
"Dude,"
how old?
I even told him, I said, dude, you need to let me know and Will know if you're bringing your parents over, because I'm not wasting my time listening to their bullshit. Because they're separated too, which is the most awkward thing too. Because they're like,
Oh.
the woman was bitching
yeah,
all
that's
the
a-
time. I'm like, dude, this is some bullshit going on right here. I don't want to hear this crap.
That's a lot of no.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's a recipe for disaster.
I'm like, dude, you let me know who you're bringing, because I don't like no one. I cannot stand anyone that he brings. It's either his dad, his mom, because his mom says some raunchy shit. I don't even fucking hear. And this one bitch that has 2 kids, apparently he's in quote friends with. I don't believe that for a fucking second. And I almost wanted to toss both damn kids through the freaking wall. I'm like, you either tell these kids to shut the hell up, or they're gonna have their head in the fucking wall.
And on that note,
Time to make this out.
Yeah, I'm just bending right now.
I swear. Okay, no, fuck you, Alan. Fuck you and your stupid fucking salad, you stupid bitch. I literally went to make a salad
Where
the
did
other
that come
night.
from?
Like it sounded okay because he said he was gonna go make a salad. He said time to make a salad, and no, I got bitch at him about it because I went to make one the other night. I was like, you know what, that sounds great. I'll get you some rabbit food. We'll throw some cheese in it, throw some crunchy bread in it, and I can't find my crunchy bread. It's gone. I don't know where the fuck it's at.
I've got a loaf.
I have some.
I've got a loaf of Italian bread that's pretty firm that I could probably make croutons out of.
Well, we had this bread that we made into croutons because like the bread by itself, it does not taste that great. We tried to use it for like garlic bread and stuff, still not great. But for croutons, it was great, and the bag's just gone. So I had to eat I wanted a salad, like that's all I wanted. So I had to eat a basic bitch ass salad, just cheese and dressing, and I was displeased. And it just, fuck you. Anyway.
I'm gonna call you Beamer from now on because he's gonna eats a bitch selling a freaking burger joint.
Well, I mean, I like a salad, but I'm not gonna go to
Yeah.
Steak and Shake and order a fucking salad, okay?
I love a salad, but when I want a burger, I'm like, dude.
God, now I want a burger, Sean. Go eat a... Never mind.
See, let it,
Go eat a burger, Sean.
Dude, I haven't had a burger in a long time.
I had chicken today.
Did he just say he had a whole chicken today?
Not a whole.
That's what I heard. That's
I
what I heard.
cooked a whole.
That's a lot of cock right there.
I was just like,
I just heard Ryan say, I had a chicken today.
I literally heard him say, I had a whole chicken today. And I was just like, God damn, boy. Like,
No, I cooked the whole chicken today. I had some of it with potatoes.
Ron's like, there's a wing left.
okay, Ryan, to be fair, I believe all of us have seen you eat at CC's.
Yes,
We know that whole chicken could be gone.
Oh man, now I miss freaking Stevie B's.
Man, I was just thinking the
I
same
I've still never been there.
That's unfortunate because you're not going to either.
Yeah, you're not going anytime soon, dude.
Forget anytime.
Well, I know
soon,
that.
They're
I'm
closed.
just never been.
So that place closed down.
Like years ago.
God damn it! Now
Man,
I want
me
pizza.
and-
All right, you guys can fuck off.
Me and Ryan used to go to Stevie B's if we were in Cleveland, we went to Stevie B's every single time.
Well, that's like every time me and Sean went down to Atlanta, we would always hit up fucking Chipotle. Granted, we don't have to do that now. I've still never been to the
Thank
Chipotle
God.
over on Gun Barrel.
Me neither.
Is it any good?
I can't tell.
Oh, never mind.
I think Chipotle is overrated, honestly.
Moe's
not
is
just-
better.
Not just this one, but like I think as a franchise, it's overrated compared to places like Mojo Burrito or Moe's. And like
Moe's
Yeah,
is
I always
so
go
much
Is-
better.
I go to
Oh,
Saucerita.
Is that a Moe's that's over by over in Fort O by the Buffalo Wild Wings?
Yep. Yeah, by the B-Dubs and the Walmart. Yeah.
Yeah. I keep meaning like I want to try them, but I don't like. I'm always a bitch about trying new places.
I
Yeah,
still,
you
Like
are.
even though it's
Did
literally
you never had Genghis Grill until I made your bitch ass go one day?
Yes,
Hey,
and then
yeah,
they
and then
closed
look
it
what
down due
happened.
to roaches.
Yeah, I was gonna say wrong fucking one to be talking shit about, Sean.
That is not the place you bring up about trying new things.
Well, granted, this is years before that freaking happened.
I will never forget how pissed I were at all you fuckers when I say, hey, I'm coming up, and we all talk, okay, we're gonna do this, we're gonna go there. Okay, cool. We get there, we all ate, we all had a great time, no big deal. I get back to Florida, and I don't remember who it was sends me this article about them getting closed
It was me.
for
Yeah,
that.
It was me.
pissed.
And so the first thing I do is go back to the group chat and go, all right, Sean isn't allowed to pick where we eat anymore.
And then Sean picked where we ate
Well,
the next
then
time.
the next time I come up, nobody tells me Sean picked. I'm told, hey, this is where we're eating. Okay, cool. And on the way, I'm like, so, David, do you like this place? David goes, I don't know. Ryan? I don't know. Dylan? I don't know. Sean goes, yeah, it's awesome. I was like, I fucking hate all of you.
Was that when we went to
Yeah, it's not my
Jack?
fault. I know how to freaking find places to go eat. at.
Yes, it is.
It was at the
I mean,
210 Jacks.
I mean to be fair, the food was great at both places, but
And honestly, I've been back to 10-2 Jacks. And you know what? The food is great every time, but every time I go, the waitress gets dumber.
Yeah,
Oh yeah.
I've been a few times myself.
I will never they still never me get my ramen before somebody gets their salad.
or get chopsticks instead of a fork with a
That
salad.
was so but the part that stands with me the most, I think, is when she specifically asked for. She's like, I want a drink. What do you want? I don't know, something sweet. Okay. They bring it out. They put it on the table. She takes a sip and goes, "It's bitter." And I was like, "You're joking." No, you're joking. You had one request. Your one request was sweet. It's bitter. You're lying to me. No,
What
try
in
it.
the fuck?
Holy fuck, it's bitter.
Yeah.
How?
It's like
God.
it's like she asked for fucking like watermelon and they gave her fucking limes.
Yeah.
Oh my word.
I
It's not
love
even
that
like they
place,
gave
though.
her. It's not even like they gave her limes. At least then they're both green. They gave her lemons.
I love that place though. Like I go anytime I'm up in that area. That's where I eat
Yeah.
because I love the food. But I go expecting I clear
A
my
dumb
schedule.
motherfucker.
I clear my schedule for the rest of the day because I don't expect to eat timely when I get there.
No.
Oh yeah, no.
Every time I've been, I've made a reservation ahead of time.
Well, I don't mean as far as getting in. I mean I'll get to the table in 5 seconds.
Yeah.
And then I'll be there 3 hours before I get my food. I love it though. I go every time I love that. I love the food.
Yeah, I love that.
We all
here,
need
too.
to coordinate a time. Obviously, it's not going to be within the next few weeks because worst time of the year for that.
Yep.
But we all
I'm
need
a-
to coordinate a time to go get food.
Hell yeah.
Have any of you guys been out to eat recently?
Nope. Too
no.
broke.
Like I've
Working
been
too much.
Like I basically have. I mean, not.
Wait, are we
super
still
typical.
streaming by the way?
Yeah, we're still live.
Okay. I won't make that comment until we're not live anymore.
But yeah, I've the last few times I've been out there, have you noticed like apparently most places aren't using menus anymore.
Right.
No, they use like a piece of paper.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's this little. They give you.
I noticed
the
that.
little thing that's like the QR code. Like scan this to look at the menu.
Yeah.
Oh,
Oh, I haven't had that.
No,
I know, like the last time we went to a restaurant and sat down, it was like like a paper menu that you just. It's like a piece of paper folded once,
Oh.
and that's it.
yeah.
And you're
The only
like,
restaurant I go to that does that is Charles Mongolian Grill that's on Brainerd.
just very recently, I went somewhere. It's at the Hamilton Place Mall. It's next to the Cheesecake Factory. I think it's like Rodizio Grill.
Oh, yeah.
I like Rodizio. That place.
I love Rodizio.
yep, Plasmid, we're still live. Yep.
I went there for the first.
The stupidity never ends.
I went there for the first time recently. And I'm sitting there like, oh my god, I'm going to die here.
and you were
Hearing
okay
Ryan
with
saying
weren't
that
you?
is terrifying.
Like, you were okay with that, right?
What?
You were okay with that too, right?
With dying?
The place
there?
is
Yes.
good. Well, yeah. Like the place is that good. Like you sit down, and you're like, I'm gonna die here, and I'm content with this decision. Like,
Yeah, hearing that
I'm
is
sitting
terrifying
there
coming
like-
from his mouth.
Like I didn't know what I was getting into when I got there. So I get there, we sit
You should have
down.
asked someone like me or Eric or whoever.
Well, I mean, I sit down, and then and then the guy comes to the table and explains what we're actually doing there, and then I find out that it's just you ask for this, you ask for either you just get the salad bar or you get everything,
We get
And
the
then
full
they just-
Rodizio.
and then they just keep bringing it until you're done.
You know, so
they're gonna
I've
keep
got
bringing you
I've
food
got an
till you tap
idea.
out. That's what happens. Like,
I've got an idea for something we should do one day. And
That
Alan,
scares me.
I don't want to be. I don't want to. Yeah. Fuck you. I don't want to be that guy. I don't want to be rude and just kind of like dump it on you because you usually dump on yourself anyways.
Damn.
But I mean, it would be something that would probably work best at Alan's house. Is why I'm saying that, because he's probably got the most room for such a thing. But we need to do one day. Do like I guess like a Friendsgiving, but instead we all just bring food from a restaurant we like and just all bring it, and then everybody just eats everything.
Fuck that!
That
I
sounds-
would
that
not be
sounds kinda
comfortable
interesting.
bringing food from a restaurant when I could just make something better.
Yeah, I can make something far better.
Well, I mean, you could do that, but I mean, we were talking about restaurant foods, and so,
But like,
or we could just, but see, then that's just a potluck, and I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, I'd be down for that. I would definitely need to talk to Cheryl, and also another thing too is it would have to be a little while down the road because this new dog that we got that's a rescue is very very skittish around Guy.
yeah, of course.
Like she loves me now because I mean she's been around me so much the past few days, but like honestly, she's skittish around people in general, but specifically guys. But like my parents came over yesterday when I was still in the shower, and they wanted to meet her and everything, and so my mom, without waiting on me to let the dogs out and introduce the new dog to them, just went ahead and mom just went ahead and let them both out, and I'm telling you, lady was just barking like she was some kind of a watchdog. She was totally freaked out and everything. So she might, like, if you guys did this within the next couple of weeks or something like that, she might lose her mind. But yeah, once she has settled in and everything, then yeah, definitely. And once again, I'd have to make sure Cheryl was okay with it and stuff, since it's not just
Well,
my house.
And
If we were to do that,
when I was saying it would be something after the holidays, anyways.
Right.
if we do that, I might bring my board games too, so we can play some of those.
Yeah,
Smash
that'd be
up.
cool.
I've got more stuff than that now.
I do not doubt that at all. Oh, do you have Quartro?
Do I have what?
Quartro.
Yes.
I feel like
goodness.
playing all those board games.
I love that game. That game requires brain matter. Like,
I feel like playing all of Ryan's random board games though. Like it would feel awkward to not have Roni and Beam in there. I mean, granted, I have not talked to them in I don't know how long. Literally since I quit Yu-Gi-Oh and quit going to CM games, they just don't talk to me anymore. But
There you go. You can make
it
it.
just I don't
You
know.
just gotta try to start a conversation with them. It's like, hey, buddy, what's up? I haven't talked to you in a while. Just start a conversation.
I forget who it was. I was playing Monster Hunter World on the PlayStation one day. I don't remember who the fuck it was from the old Yu-Gi-Oh day. I think it was Tracy that I was I had on my PlayStation friends list. Jumped in a party with Tracy one day, said one word, and I heard, "Wait, who the fuck is that?" I'm like, huh? Roni and Beeman are both going, "It's fucking Patrick. I know that voice. It's fucking Patrick. Get that bitch out of the party." And I'm like, "Whoa, guys, I didn't do nothing."
Whoa, what
Then
the hell?
oh no, they were just fucking with me. Like they
Oh.
kicked me out of the party and everything, and then formed a new party and sent me an invite.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Yeah, that makes.
I'm sitting here going, "What the fuck did I do?"
Man, I would join in. I would join in with the Jesse voice. Except I would get kicked out and not get
Yeah,
re-invited
you
back.
would not get reinvited.
Look, come on, guys! I want to play too.
Stop it. God, I hate that accent.
Well, don't worry. You don't have to listen to it a whole lot more because I'm gonna go get some food because I'm starving.
No, he just has to listen to it every time you meet in.
Yep. Just wait till we get to the good parts.
Oh.
I'm not
I don't have
very
an
stuck about that.
I don't have an objection to the voice by itself. It's just that it's in.
Okay, but
You can't
okay, seriously,
take
what
anything
character?
that voice says seriously. But it's
What character would be? What voice would be? You know, I don't want to say acceptable. What would be? Fuck words, brains, English. Appropriate. Thank you. What would be an appropriate voice for that?
for in?
Because I mean, I could. Yes.
I honestly don't.
Like I mean, I could have given him.
Someone
I
in
could have
this-
done Pegasus. I could have done MariK. I could have done Piccolo. I could have done Cell. Like, I mean, there's plenty of characters I could have done. I could have done fucking Dan Green, which is Yami Yugi. Like, I just
Yugi might not
none of
be
them
bad.
seem to fit.
Like yeah,
Maybe.
they don't seem to fit, and yet Jesse fits more.
No, I didn't say that. I didn't say that one bit. I just said that I like N. I like Jesse. They both have green hair, and I went with it.
It's hard for me
Plus-
to see anything like that for in just because like in is the only like quote unquote villain in the entire Pokemon series that you kind of get to the point of like he's not wrong though.
Well, see, here's the thing, though. I'm also doing the Soul Link with Sean, who hates it. I had to use that voice for someone that was reoccurring.
You should have done Gethys.
Nah, Sean refused. Sean wanted to do
I
his
heard him
voice.
refuse.
Because I was going to give him Weevil Underwood voice.
I heard him refuse. I would have done it anyway and made him Jesse.
That would have been funny as fuck.
That's just insulting.
That would be the point.
I know.
That would be the point.
All right,
You
boys.
can't,
Well,
you can't have all the damn fun.
it's been fun. We hit the 3-hour mark, and, like, for real, I've only had a bagel today,
Right.
so I need food.
Go eat.
All right. See you guys. Have a good
See ya.
night.
See
All right. We'll pick it up next Monday, boyos.
All right.
Alright, see ya.